I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time. I'm a person who will spike the conversation, who will get politics rolling and stimulate new questions and new answers to our current political dilemma facing our nation. I believe I have a keen understanding of the economy and how to improve where we're at relative to other nations around the world. I believe that our goal at America's Third Party was to create a very strong platform in which would propel the American people forward with new opportunities and a new possibility of creating a better nation, a cleaner environment, and less war. I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party and Freedom Friday. I'm David Sponheim. This is going to be an amazing wrap-up of our week. We're finding out that Trump is getting the tax plan passed that he wanted to get passed. We've had a banner week in the stock market, rising way above 24,000. Bitcoin still screaming ahead, showing the instability of the market. And gold and silver tumbled. That was this past week. Then we find out that Michael Flynn is being charged and indicted, and he will be serving, I guess, getting counsel to defend himself. So he pled guilty to lying to the FBI and will cooperate with the Russian inquiry. So this is a turning point in which Michael Flynn may turn state's evidence against Donald Trump. This is a big, big, big day for Donald. Good and bad. So we'll see if Michael Flynn's testimony will actually shake and bake the Trump administration. We're going to also respond to chat. A lot of you are in chat and wanting to participate in the show, and we understand what that means. You know, we obviously are trying to do the best we can to get guest chat in here, and that means we have to fight a tirade of attackers, trolls, and spammers who come in here on a nightly basis. And we're doing the best we can to give you guys access. So I'll bear in mind that this is a daily show. It lasts 5 hours. I've already been doing it for about an hour. And we welcome you to watch any of our archive shows as well and multicast us across the globe. Anyone can take our feed from YouTube and rerun it as a broadcast. I understand one group, UHF4, was doing that last week. They were running our 2012 or 2010 videos. Because I've been doing this for 9 years now. All right, so I'm not giving up, and believe me, that's just the beginning. We're trying to fix this country, so I stand behind what I do every day. But Michael Flynn has pled guilty, so his discussions with Sergei Kislyak, the Russian ambassador, were part of a coordinated effort by Mr. Trump's aides to create foreign policy before they were in power. And this is clearly a violation of the Logan Act as well. And they didn't get approval to do this, and that's what I've been screaming about for years now, or about a year and a half. I'm one of the first vocal people to talk about the contamination of the election by the Russians 6 months before the election. All right, we'll get you back in here. And we have another information that's pretty disturbing as well. A CIA agent has confessed on his deathbed that he killed Bob Marley. Yeah. Yeah, that's a serious allegation. This man apparently decided he had nothing to lose, so he's telling people that he killed Bob Marley. We think in our minds that Bob Marley died of an embolism due to his smoking of marijuana or something, or some brain problem. But now this man is claiming that a 79-year-old retired officer of the CIA, Bill Oxley, has made a series of stunning confessions since he was admitted to the Mercy Hospital in Maine on Monday and told he has weeks to live. He claims he committed 17 assassinations for the American government between 1974 and 1985, including the music icon Bob Marley. Yeah, this is kind of an amazing breakthrough, because I contend that they probably killed John Lennon using the MKUltra program, brainwashing Mark David Chapman. It doesn't surprise me that they were killing rock stars back then. And it doesn't surprise me recently that when some famous people, Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington, both died. Chris Cornell of Soundgarden and Chester Bennington of Linkin Park both died within a short period of time of the same method, which would be garroting, making it look like a suicide by hanging. And they come up from behind these people and they garrote them, and then they tie them and string them up, and they call it a suicide by hanging. And what's really disturbing is our government isn't even investigating either one of those cases either. So for this guy to talk about killing Bob Marley, it just kind of puts it all in perspective. They don't want a movement to start. They don't want a political movement or a music movement or anyone to represent the people to speak out with music. That's very interesting. Mr. Oxley, who worked for the CIA for 29 years as an operative with top-level security clearances, claims he was often used as a hitman by the organization to assassinate individuals who could represent a threat to the goals of the agency. Trained as a sniper and a marksman, Mr. Oxley has significant experience with more unconventional methods of inflicting harm upon others, like poisons, explosives, induced heart attacks, and cancer. Now, the 79-year-old operative claims he committed the assassinations between March of 74 and August of 85, at a time when he says the CIA was a law unto itself. He was part of an operative cell of 3 members which carried out political assassinations across the country and occasionally in foreign countries. So, wow, nothing to live for, nothing to worry about, life itself, just wanting to get clear and clean the slate before he dies. Isn't this interesting? Okay, so if you haven't seen the link, I'm going to give it to you over at YouNow, because I know you people want to check stuff out on your own. And over here, I'm going to give it to you over back at you. Thank you for that link, Scissor Fight. Wow, we've got a lot of big reveals happening. Can't really tell you where this is all going. We just had an article from Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson speaking out about the most heinous acts perpetrated upon our country. Here he is talking about, he said Hollywood is a den of parasites who feast on the blood of children. Now, I'm not going to linger on this. I just spent some time in the pre-show talking about this horror. The word is in the street and around the world now in the blogosphere that the elites think they want to live forever, so they want to drink the blood of children. And worse than that, they're willing to torture children to get their adrenaline, because they claim it's like an elixir. I mean, you look at stuff coming out of Mel Gibson, you trusted actor who's just released a new movie called Daddy Home 2, spoke out in front of everybody in London. He said, Hollywood elites are an enemy of mankind, continually acting contrary to our best interests, and breaking every God-given taboo known to man, including the sanctity of children. It's an open secret in Hollywood. These people have their own religion and spiritual teachings and their own social and moral frameworks. They have their sacred texts. They're sick, believe me, and they couldn't be more at odds with what America stands for. Mel Gibson's starting to sound like a hero. You know, his open anti-Zionist stance was criticized by many as being anti-Semitic. People just didn't understand what he was saying, but now he's speaking out about Pizzagate and Pedogate and all these other stories that are extremely disturbing. All right, we're going to take a look at the future cabinet of Donald Trump when he gets rid of Rex Tillerson. We're going to find out what Rex Tillerson did, too. I've got that story to discuss as well. Let's check into the room and see how you guys are doing. Some of you are worried about losing your job, being replaced by a robot. Yeah, it happens. They say that 30% of Americans will be replaced by robots in 10 years, or at least by 2030. It could be higher if you're at a low-paying wage, like if you're making $20,000 or less, you have an 80% chance of being replaced by a robot in the next 10 years. Well, I do believe that Mel Gibson's really a brave man, and I respect the fact that he's doing everything he can to get the word out. It's not something I want to ignore, that's for sure. When I reach, my goal is to get 5 different Justice Department investigations rolling simultaneously and hiring new people in that process. We want to make sure we look into the history of JFK and what happened there. We still think that they're suppressing information they just will not release. That recently the report would have automatically showed you that George H.W. Bush was at the site, the Dallas, when John Kennedy was killed, and that he was involved in the CIA maneuvering behind the scene. Another fact that didn't come out in the JFK release recently was, and this is a known fact that is being suppressed, hi Eddie, welcome, that there is a suppression of evidence when it came to Lee Harvey Oswald's involvement in the CIA, that he had 4 or 5 years as a CIA agent before he actually was named as the sole shooter, with the lone gunman and the lone bullet series. I mean, all these theories were completely ridiculous. We should have known that JFK was not getting justice. The Warren Commission report was not bringing in facts about Lee Harvey Oswald being a CIA agent. We should have known that. Hello from New Delhi. Welcome. Good evening, everybody. Mel Gibson. Yeah, the actor. So Trump had his best and his worst day as president, pretty much. With the news that the Senate's going to pass his tax bill, which I don't think should pass, but whatever. I don't know the changes they put into it, but it doesn't look like it's that good to the average person, especially lower middle class and middle class, but whatever. And you can see he's lost a lot of weight there. He's coming down quite a bit. I think his efforts are going to fall flat on their face pretty soon once it becomes obvious that whatever he was cooking up with Russia 3 years prior, with Carter Page meeting over there, whatever he was cooking up was definitely some sort of a kind of the death knell to his administration's ability to function, at the very least. It's put a real kind of a barb in the whole. It's a reality check, really. Let's face it. You can't collude with Russians and expect to get out from under this whole thing unscathed. And we're finding out his people met 9 times with the Russians prior to the inauguration. You can call it fake news all you want, guys, but it's going to come down, and I'm afraid your gleaming example of a perfect person, Donald Trump, is going to become a shattered history and a memory for you. And then your greatest hope would be to get me to the White House so that I could fulfill the ideas that Trump stole from me, like the 1,000-mile fence, like the mobile medical unit idea, which he never fulfilled, like no refugee policy, which he never fulfilled when he allowed the UN to bring in the resettlement program, which was going on under Obama. So, you know, the whole bottom line is you guys are going to be dealing with the reality that you may have to get a new president to do the things that you thought Trump's ideas were when they weren't even his ideas. They were my ideas. But let's talk about Rex Tillerson real quick here. He's probably going to be leaving soon. He'll be fired shortly, they say. But according to this article, Rex Tillerson wrecked the State Department. All right, so we're looking at cutting costs, and his directive was to cut costs. He shaved jobs. He got rid of people that were important to the State Department. In only 10 months, Tillerson, the former CEO of ExxonMobil, presided over the near dismantling of America's diplomatic corps, chasing out hundreds of State Department employees and scaling back the country's engagement with the world. So we became more of an isolationist nation under Rex. But you know, in deference to Rex, he stood up against Trump, and I respect that. And I really think that, you know, he's tried to breach the divide between North Korea and the U.S. And Trump just a couple weeks ago said, no, don't bother. There's no point. It's a waste of time. Trump doesn't even want to talk to North Korea about anything, let alone get to the bargaining table and discuss what they want in exchange to reduce their nuclear arsenal, or at least stop the testing of missiles over our nation's allies. So Rex did the unthinkable, I think, bucked Donald Trump, and that's why he's going to be thrown into the bus. But he may have had relations with ExxonMobil that would have, in Trump's mind, turned into a deal with the oil companies in Russia that didn't pan out. And maybe Trump just got tired of them and said, no, you're not going to be good for my oil deals. Who knows? We have no incentive, by the way, to sell or buy oil with Russia. There's no real incentive. We don't gain anything from it. So maybe that was the failed directive of Donald Trump, thinking Rex would be helpful with Blade. Who knows? 3 hours ago, he tweeted, "We'll find out shortly if North Korea is going to exist. Ask me again in 6 months." 3 hours ago. Yeah. So, we'll find out shortly if North Korea is going to exist. Ask me again in 6 months. Okay. So is he calling somebody? Is he talking to somebody? Eddie says, David, what is fake news? Well, Eddie, fake news, I'm talking to you, man. Yeah, hello. Fake news is what the Republicans call anything that goes against Donald Trump. That's the definition of fake news. Yes, he's going to have fire and fury like the world has never seen. Yeah, he's scaring a lot of people, including himself. Thank you. I'm working on it. Well, the Jewish people who are claiming to be Jewish behind the tyranny of the New World Order, and they are trying to destroy the family unit. Yeah. These are Ashkenazis that are trying to push porn on all of you. You're wondering why there's so much free porn out there. Well, it's because they want you to keep watching porn. They don't want you to have a relationship and have children. And they just want you to, masturbate all the time. Destroying the family unit is exactly what they want. They don't want a population to grow. They want to get rid of 95% of our population. So yeah, the Zionist movement, embodied by Trump, ironically, is totally into you not actually getting a family. They don't want you to have a family. DOJ family files arrest warrant for illegal immigrants acquitted in the Kate Steinle case. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. They're expanding the search after this guy was acquitted in front of a jury.
Right now that the Justice Department is going to be filing a warrant for Jose Inez Garcia Zarate in the case of the Kate Steinle death. Remember that a jury essentially let him off scot-free in that murder that goes back a couple of years ago. First of all, claiming that it wasn't a murder and that it was accidental, and that did not fly well with a number of immigration enforcers who say that his being here prompted her death in the first place. Shouldn't have been here. She's dead. Her family is outraged, and right now this move on the part of the Justice Department to arrest him. First on Fox is the acting ICE director, Thomas Homan. Director, very good to have you, sir. What did you think of this move, first off, on the Department of Justice?
Well, I was on the phone last night with representatives from the Department of Justice on this very issue. Look, I was sickened by what I heard last night and the verdict. These sanctuary cities got to be held accountable. This person needs to be held accountable. So I was on the phone last night with the Department of Justice trying to do whatever we could as a federal government to hold this person responsible. Well,
that guy's in charge of ICE. Well, illegal immigration led to the death of this the beautiful woman, Steinle. And, yeah, ironically, There is a connection there, so it's not something to be ignored. I'm glad that they're at least looking into his extended family not being allowed to live here. Okay, I bet you did. North Korea should work on fishing and hunting, not nukes. Well, that's nice. That's a nice thought, Skinny and Annis. Awesome Carl's show, who's, I guess, not the real Awesome Carl, but he said that why would rich people want to get rid of a population that pay taxes? They don't need your money anymore. They can print up money faster than you can pay taxes. Yeah, they can get rid of people so they won't be a drain by replacing them with robots. Most of our manufacturing is starting to be replaced by automation. We're 10 years away from having jobs replaced now. Even lawyers will find a hard time getting work when the automated lawyer systems go into play. Online legal services will be done and filed with an interactive computer talking to you about your case. Similarly, nursing opportunities will dwindle. More and more emergency medical technicians will be needed. We'll be needing people who work in the field as opposed to people that work, behind a desk. Well, there won't be a career repairing robots either, because robots can be repaired by robots. So I'm sorry. I'm upset about the tranny stuff going on. Yeah, Blink. I think they're trying to turn us all into a bunch of trannies, and that's not working for me. I'm definitely not a tranny. And here's this poor chicken who's been choked here. Part of the symbol of America become emasculated, spending all their time masturbating. It's true. I mean, it's like the whole country now just, goes home and masturbates. I guess we're free to masturbate. That's the one thing that you're allowed to do. So it's your only way of being free now. We keep talking about it because it seems to be the goal of our country to turn us all into a bunch of jerk-offs. Notice that? Okay, well, with people like Bill Clinton and icons of not so normal relations with women get heralded. Yeah, and we definitely profiled this story about Mel Gibson, the den of parasites that has who feast on the blood of kids. Let's not forget what this means. And Mel Gibson's serious, and I know because we've talked about it. All the stories lead to this weird obsession rich people have of drinking the blood of children. But he's coming out talking about it right here. It's an open secret in Hollywood. These people have their own religious, spiritual teachings, yeah. He spent the last 10 years working on his own ideas outside the Hollywood system, he said. He says, I don't know how to break it to you gently. Hollywood is institutionalized pedophilia. They're using and abusing kids. And somebody said, what do you mean? Well, this isn't some kind of artistic abstraction. They harvest the blood of children. They eat their flesh. They believe this gives them life force. If the child was suffering in body and psyche before it died, they believe this gives them extra life force. Yeah, there's a creative and a loving force inside most of us that guides us through life. These people don't have this. For them, it's the opposite. They thrive on pain, trauma, stress, abuse, and suffering. Well, we've been taking these stories in and listening to them, and it's pretty disturbing. It's some sick stuff, and it's disturbing because we have to talk about it. And when we talked about Pizzagate, everybody said, oh, you don't bring that up. It's been banned on Twitter and Reddit. No, we have to talk about the things that are the sickest, because these are the kids that are being abused. They need our help to stop this. And since the two parties don't want to address the lack of investigations in the Pedogate and the Pizzagate stories, and since nobody in Washington, D.C. is being investigated right now, we obviously need a political party that will open up an investigation into that. So the JFK assassination will be a Justice Department investigation. Pizzagate and Pedogate will be an entire field of investigations that extend out into the Clintons. But then we're going to have a separate field of just looking into the Clintons as well. That'd be the third. We're talking Benghazi, but mostly Haitian involvement, the foundation, money, embezzling, this type of thing. We'll have a fourth investigation into 911. I know this sounds ridiculous. And we'll have, of course, I just can't believe we have all these investigations we have to engage in. the Obama administration will be the fifth. So Obama, the lies about his birth certificate, which Joe Arpaio has said definitely shows emphatically that Trump, or rather Barack Obama has forged his birth certificate, the known fact. Donald brought this up. I had brought it up 5 years earlier. Donald dropped it like a lead balloon. He didn't want to pursue it because he's been paid off. So we have 5 investigations to look into. It's that serious. Okay, if you do any research on me, you'll find out that I have no record whatsoever. I've never committed a crime in my life. You'll also find that slander like this is something that goes on in our room a lot. You can see it happening. Unlike Elizabeth Warren, I didn't fake my Algonquin ancestry and apply for some sort of a student loan. Or actually, she got grant money, free money to go to Harvard and become a university professor. Elizabeth Warren refuses to present the DNA evidence. Donald Trump made a joke and a mockery of the Native Americans on that issue last week. But I really believe that it's my point. I was the one that brought this up originally. The DNA evidence should be brought to light regarding Elizabeth Warren. We need to find out if she is indeed 20% Cherokee Indian. Otherwise, she definitely has committed fraud. Yet at this point, I don't know what Antifa is. Remember, any group has the ability to form and organize. Even the KKK can do that. So I can't stop people from organizing. But I'm beginning to think that Antifa is a made-up George Soros concoction. No, we're going to open up guest chat. I just wanted to make sure that, we had the ability to shut it off rather quickly. So I'll take care of it. I've got guest off at the ready. Yeah, Rodney is just here to constantly mess with our show. But last night we had a pretty good call from him. He was impressed with the fact that I can respond on many issues at instantaneous levels. It was good to at least touch base with him. He's always kind of looked at our shows kind of like a way to denigrate what we're doing. But I think when he asks some specific questions and I answer them for him to the best of his approval, things get better. We can germinate a normal conversation sometimes. Okay. You have an account, you just don't trust the guests. Yeah, I know. Well, it gets kind of weird in here. So I hope I answered your question, Eddie. Joseph DiFilippo says, hi, sweetie. Yeah, Wendy is Rodney, so we know that. You might want to get a new name, Wendy. Yeah, your Rodney disguise is not working. Was Wendy the last woman you slept with? Was her name Wendy? It's a great song about that. The Wendy song. The Beach Boys, yeah. I don't want to play it because they'll monetize it. I know. Nobody can get rid of the guest chat nonsense once it starts. But we ban them and they go away for a while, and they reset their servers and come back with a new dynamic IP. But we've been doing this for about 9 years, so we know how to handle the trolls. We just want to maintain open guest chat for people who want to respond when they can. As I said last week, there is a strong desire among millennials to get a third party. 71% say the Democratic and Republican parties do such a poor job of representing the American people that the third major party is needed. Representing the American people is something that is not happening under the two-party system. I think Sweden, UK, and France have their own issues with the Muslim migrations going into their country. They have better, stronger border systems in place than we do, ironically. Europe has had an entrenched border situation, which has now become a political liability for them to have people like Angela Merkel push for this in Germany. So it's a political shift that has to occur in Europe to cut back on the Muslim migration into those areas, which is obviously destabilizing countries like Sweden, UK, and France. Well, unfortunately for you, 128, Trump is probably going to be resigning pretty soon. And even though you Trump-tards have no idea what's coming, you don't even read the news because you consider it fake news. It's maybe something in the wind that's going to wake you up eventually, or maybe somebody will slap you across the face and go, wake up, dude. You just voted for a guy who cheated with the Russians' help. What kind of a person does that make you? It makes you a traitor. They're not proud. The Cherokee Indian chief has asked Elizabeth Warren to take a DNA test to stop proclaiming that she has heritage from Cherokee Indians without proving it. Well, they're going to be making a lot of decisions. The open-ended issue of whether to impeach a president can go on for the next 3 years. But they are 6 senators away from actually impeaching Donald Trump in the U.S. Senate. They have enough votes to go 6 away from impeaching him. So I'm sure John McCain would gladly impeach Trump if he's still alive with his Achilles tendon problem and his brain tumor. Thank you, Scissor Fight. Well, I'll show I'll be voting for myself, so I don't mind adding that to the list. Now, Trump just said he would be happy if the government shut down. Good point. Yeah, I heard him say that. He really thinks that shutting the government down is a good thing. Now, I've extended the idea to Sarah that we would expand the debt to 20 trillion, but now that's no longer an issue because we're already at 20 trillion. But it would have been fine if we extended it to whatever we needed to extend it to buy us enough time to restructure our debt. And we can restructure our debt. We could probably end the Fed like Ron Paul wanted to do. But we have to get everybody on the same page. But at this point, Trump doesn't communicate. So, hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Yeah, Trump tweeted the government needs a good shutdown. Here she is. This is your Charlie Brown look. It's kind of funny.
It is kind of like a Charlie Brown look. It's true.
It's warm though. The Association. I'd love to play that. Can I play that later tonight? I'll be monetized otherwise. I love that song. I'll play that tonight at the 10 o'clock hour. Welcoming. Yeah.
Hello, Bearcat.
Meta-Nemesis is here. Nothing compares. We played Sinead O'Connor's version and Chris Cornell's version last week.
Joseph.
That was good. Trump doesn't have what it takes to really flex with the times and change according to the needs of the two parties. He doesn't even communicate well. Now, I believe that what has happened is we've had an ascension of corruption reaching the tip of the iceberg, and it turned out to be Trump. The most corrupt, the guy who says he's the king of debt, would become president at a time when we have such terrible corruption at the lower ranks, all the way down to the local community that you're living in. Corruption is everywhere in America right now.
Oh, the snow fell in Ohio.
Yeah, the snow fell in a very thin line.
Meaning like
Yeah, that was this is in Ohio. The snow fell right there. That was all the snow that would land.
Meaning it wasn't really snow, it was a chemtrail.
Well, it might have been snow. It could be they're modifying the weather just to create snow in that region, and they can do it with a stream of chemtrails. They have that ability. Yeah. Could be snow, because there's a definite correlation between weather and the chemtrails that they're using to modify it with, along with other methods like phased array radar systems that they use in conjunction with the chemicals. They can manipulate the atmosphere. No, I'm not in any way hurt about Trump winning. The fact that he stole all those ideas that I had was upsetting me. I'm not saying that they weren't, but they are definitely a reason to be upset. But Sarah's going to go with guest off for now, and I'll be back in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, hello, every 48 people and everyone else. Okay, we're going to start with a little bit of trivia. We're working on world history since 1550. We're on the letter D. Hello, I eat glue. What was the code name for the first day of a military attack, especially the American and British invasion of German-occupied France during World War II on June 6, 1944? Correct. Blink and blink and blink. And every 48 people. And bag end audio. It was D-Day. This marked the beginning of the victory of the Allies in Europe. Germany surrendered less than a year later. Wow, I totally need to go into my C box. Just a sec. One moment, please. Please stand by. All right, who was a French political leader and general of the 20th century? He headed the French resistance to the Nazis in World War II and served briefly as president of France after the Nazis were driven out. He was called back as president in the 1950s under a new constitution that he himself specified. In office, he solved the crisis over Algeria that was dividing the country. He also made aggressive moves to strengthen France's international position, such as acquiring nuclear weapons. He was known for his grand and imperious manner. Correct. Astra wins. And everyone else who got it, I don't know who all got it, but it is Charles de Gaulle. Correct. Who was a longtime leader of the Communist Party in China? He was purged during the Great Proletarian Cultural Revolution for criticizing the excesses of Mao Zedong, but he returned to power in the 1970s and guided China on a course of pragmatic economic reforms. Correct. Battletoad. Wow. It was Deng Xiaoping. I don't know, Blink. What was an effort after the death of the Soviet premier to soften some of the repressive measures used by his government? How cool is that, bag end audio? All right. Premier Nikita Khrushchev was leader in this movement, which involved the downgrading of the former leader's reputation. So you have to figure out who was the leader before Khrushchev in the Soviet Union. And then what did they try to do to him? Or after he was out of power? Deformation, good guess. It does start with DE. I don't have a seed box. No, Blink. Not Brezhnev, no. It was de-Stalinization. They were trying to get rid of the Stalin influences in Russia, in the Soviet Union. What is a place in Indochina, now Vietnam, where Vietnamese communists decisively defeated French forces in 1954? The defeat led to the French withdrawal from Indochina. Good guess about Da Nang. It's not Da Nang. That place, and we were soldiers. I know it. No, I said de-Stalinization, not desalination. All right, it was Dien Bien Phu. Dienbienphu. A place in Indochina. Dien Bien Phu. Who was totally, you're just going to say that. I know. Who was an English political leader of the 19th century? He led the Conservative Party of Britain, the Tories, in the 1860s and 1870s and was Prime Minister twice. He was a political opponent of William Gladstone. He strongly supported the extension of British colonies and had Queen Victoria proclaimed Empress of India. Correct, Battletoad and Pumpkin Hunters. It was Benjamin Disraeli. Benjamin Disraeli. Ron D, so it's not Churchill. Churchill starts with C. All right, what is the doctrine that kings and queens have a God-given right to rule and that rebellion against them is a sin? This belief was common throughout the 17th centuries and was urged by such kings as Louis XIV of France. So close, Pumpkin Hunter says divination. That's pretty much spot on. Happy hour, yes. Divine rights, yes. Divine right of kings, yes. What are words that were allegedly spoken by the British explorer Henry Stanley when in 1871 he finally found the long missing explorer and missionary in Africa? Doe. Oh, yes, Pumpkin Hunters, you're so close. Yes, exactly. Dr. Livingston, I presume. Correct. Good job, Pumpkin Hunters. Yes. Who was an English navigator of the 16th century? The first Englishman to sail around the world. He often raided Spanish treasure ships. He participated in the destruction of the Spanish Armada. Pumpkin Hunters is right again. Drake. Correct. Gross, Blink. You want me to look it up? Your great-great-uncle was president of France in 1922. It says, okay, I'm looking at Boogie's uncle. Oh, Robert LeBrun. LeBrun? Yes. Okay. What was a scandal in France at the end of the 19th century involving a Jewish army officer? He was falsely convicted of betraying French military secrets and was sentenced to life imprisonment. French society was deeply divided over him, with liberals including Émile Zola and Georges Clemenceau arguing that he was innocent, and conservatives defending the French military authorities. Not Rosenberg, not Disraeli. Dislike of Jews also affected the opinions of many in France about the incident. Zoll's article, J'accuse, I accuse, strongly influenced the public in his favor. Yes, Dr. Meow, yes. He was eventually cleared of all charges, reinstated in the army with a promotion, and publicly honored. It was the Dreyfus affair. His name was Alfred Dreyfus. I wonder if do you think that will happen to Chelsea Manning or the other one? You think he'll be like reinstated in the military? Oh, well, that was French. That was a little French history. It is world history since 1550. All right. What was the scene of a remarkable, though ignominious, retreat by the British Army in World War II? It was a town in the northern coast of France. It was the last refuge of the British during the fall of France, and several hundred naval and civilian vessels took the troops back to England in shifts over 3 days. Correct, Dr. Meow. And pumpkin hunters? Yes. And Battletoad? Yes. Dunkirk. The term Dunkirk is sometimes used to signify a desperate retreat. Dunkirk. All right, now we're on to the letter E. What was a former nation in North Central Europe, officially known as the German Democratic Republic, from 1949 to 1990, when it was reunited with another part? Its capital and largest city? Correct. It was East Germany. Correct. Blink and Pumpkin Hunters and Happy Hour. Its capital and largest city was East Berlin. Former Eastern Bloc and Warsaw Pact nation, established as a republic in 1949, formed out of land in the zone of Germany occupied by the Soviet Union after World War II. The Berlin Wall was erected in 1961 to keep East Germans from defecting to the West. Although high for a communist nation, the East German living standard lagged far behind that of Western Europe. Popular protests for democracy forced the communist government to open the Berlin Wall in 1989 and allow citizens to migrate to West Germany. Unable to resist the tide of reform sweeping across communist states, the East German government agreed in 1990 to the reunification of Germany under the leadership of West Germany. Sorry, defecting. Did I misstate that? Defecting. All right. What was a time in 20th century British history, the first decade of the century, when Edward VII, the eldest son of Queen Victoria, was king? This period was known for its elegance and luxury among the rich and powerful in Britain, but also for moral looseness and for general failure to prepare for some of the challenges of the 20th century, particularly World War I. Correct, Blink and Pumpkin Hunters. World War I broke out 4 years after the death of King Edward. It was called the Edwardian period. You see the answers before you hear them? I'm sorry. But before you hear the question, it must be the 2 different servers that Mark is running. One for chat and one for video. Refresh. Maybe that will help. I don't know. Maybe that will make a faster video. All right, who was a Nazi official who was responsible for the torture and killing of millions of Jews during the Holocaust? He escaped capture immediately after World War II, but was apprehended in Argentina. He was apprehended in Argentina 15 years later by agents of Israel. In Israel, he was convicted of crimes against humanity and hanged. His last name starts with an E. His first name was Adolf. His last name was not Hitler. It starts with an E. Not Schwarzenegger, no. Correct, Bag-End Audio. Eichmann. Eichmann. Yes, Battletoad. All right, who was a Queen of England in the late 16th and early 17th centuries? A brilliant and crafty ruler who presided over the Renaissance in England. Her reign was... Correct, Pumpkin Hunters and I Glue, and Pumpkin Hunters and Battletoad. Her reign was a time of notable triumphs in literature. William Shakespeare rose to prominence while she was queen, and it was also notable for war, the defeat of the Spanish Armada. The daughter of King Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, she never married. She is called the Virgin Queen and Good Queen Bess. The state of Virginia is named after the Virgin Queen. Oh, and it's Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen. I thought it was named after Queen Virginia, but I guess it was named after Queen Elizabeth, the Virgin Queen. Muy bien, y tú, Arita Riz. Welcome. Maybe so, Bag-End Audio, that's true. Who knows? Who knew it was Elizabeth? All right, who is the present Queen of Britain? Her husband is Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, and the eldest of her 4 children is Prince Charles, the Prince of Wales. Hello, Jelly Soft Curls. Correct, Soviet Spy and Pumpkin Hunters. Yes, again, Battletoad. Since she became queen in 1952, dozens of nations, formerly possessions of Britain, have become independent. She is Queen Elizabeth II. Hello, Olivia. All right, who was a German socialist of the 19th century who collaborated with Karl Marx on the Communist Manifesto and Das Kapital? Correct. I glue. It is. And Pumpkin Hunters. It is Frederick Engels. What was America's Third Party is... Oh, I'm talking to Jelly Soft Girls. America's Third Party is a political party. David Sponheim is running for president of the United States. My name's Sarah. I come on David's show and give him a little bit of respite, a little bit of a break. And yes, indeed, I am a teacher. And so for my breaks, I am giving you clues from the new dictionary of cultural literacy, what every American needs to know. I'm also broadcasting on other sites like Vaughn Live, or actually you can just find out the other sites at americasthirdparty.com. And it's and I'm also broadcasting on YouTube at youtube.com/America's Third Party. Yes, we used to be on together, both David and I, every night, but now David's on and then I'm on. So what we are is we are a centrist political party. So that means we're in the center. We're not right nor left. We're in the center, and we are, yeah, I could provide homework help via live stream. That's true. Yes, now I'm a teacher. I can't handle 2 full-time jobs. It is like a full-time job to have a political thing. But No, I think a centrist political party is absolutely what this country needs. I personally think we need a third party. Whenever you have disputes, you bring in a third party to resolve the disputes. And I really believe that, yes, the party of balance. I really believe that our message of centrism that is really does resonate with the majority of the American people. I think most people are centrist. Well, I think it can be. Jelly Soft Girls, do I think the next big election will be Republicans, Democrats, and America's third party? I think it can be. In fact, Abraham Lincoln was actually a third party president. Back then, the day they had the Whigs and the Federalists before they had the Republicans and the Democrats. Blink over at Von Live thinks that America needs no federal government, zero tax, and less gun control. I believe that there is a place for federal government, otherwise I wouldn't be part of a political party. Yes, he was a Republican, but that was a third party at the time. I disagree with you, Josie. And so how do we feel about Trump? Not good. I don't like Trump. But I didn't like Obama either. I really believe now's the time for a centrist, sane party in the middle. Okay, so some of our issues, how do I feel about gun control? I really believe that with gun control, that it should be up to the individual person how they have guns. And I believe that, yes, I'm tactful. I do believe that, you know, we have already certain weapons-free zones. Sometimes I wonder if those weapons-free zones make people sitting ducks. Being a teacher, that's where I work, is a weapons-free zone. And, you know, what really kind of convinced me about the whole issue of gun control was the testimony from there was this woman who, there was a big huge shooting in Texas. It was at a restaurant, and back in the, I think it was 80s, and this woman, she testified in front of Congress about gun control, and she said, you know, the thing is that we have the Second Amendment to protect us from the government, and that's why we have the Second Amendment, is to protect us from the government. And then she said that she normally had a weapon in her vehicle, or you would normally carry it around in her purse, because she lived in Texas and they were pretty lenient on guns. And she left her gun in her car because the restaurant that she was going into said, we don't allow guns in our restaurant. And
that was Luby's, right?
Luby's Diner in Texas. You should see the testimony. It was a public testimony that she testified in front of Congress. And she said that she saw her mother being shot right in front of her. And she actually reached into her purse, and her gun wasn't there because she left it in her car, because it was a weapons-free area. And that if she had it, she could have prevented other loss of life. And then in Washington State, there was an issue. There was a gunman who went into a shopping mall in Tacoma about a decade ago, between 5 and 10 years ago, and he was actually shot by someone who did have a concealed handgun.
Okay.
So those are the reasons that I am not in favor of gun control. As far as when you say a semi-automatic weapon, I definitely understand not having automatic weapons, but you have to understand the difference between a semi-automatic weapon and an automatic weapon. The thing is that a semi-automatic weapon, you have to pull the trigger every single time. An automatic weapon, you pull it once and it just spins out all of the bullets in the cartridge or the magazine. So I'm in favor of not having fully automatic weapons. Now, I'm also in favor of two other things as far as gun control go. And this is just my opinion. David can say his opinion. But I'm in favor of making sure that anyone who has been involuntarily institutionalized or incarcerated has their rights to bear arms removed. So that would have prevented doing that would have prevented the shooting that happened at Virginia Tech a few years. Yeah, Cho had been involuntarily institutionalized.
Yeah.
Now, I will say one last thing, which is I also believe that people who have had their rights removed by court order should have the ability to have them reinstated by court order as well.
So they'd have to go through all kinds of training programs to mitigate anger management and stop wanting to hurt people with a gun.
Well, it would be on a judge-by-judge basis. It would be up to the judge whatever they wanted them to do.
That's a good compromise, really. A lot of the people who are anti, those pro-gun right people do not want any verification. And we are supportive of verification, but it has to be easy. If you're at a gun show and you have a stopgap where it says you can't sell a gun to somebody, we have to make a free system available for somebody to punch in their ID number on their license and says, hey, are you okay? Green light, yellow light, or red light.
Yeah, I mean,
to say whether that person's safe to get a gun. Willie, I don't talk about firearms on the show personally, but thank you for asking.
Jelly Soft Girls wants to know, how do you feel about pro-life and pro-choice? I like to say I'm pro-prevention and pro-education when it comes to pro-life, pro-choice. So I'm in favor of anything that will prevent an unwanted pregnancy. And I'm also in favor of educating a woman about all of her options. Often what's not included in the conversation is that the father of the child may want to raise it. Her parents may want to raise the child. The father's parents may want to raise the child. And there's always the option of adoption.
Yeah. And we would like to see an actual orphanage, modern day orphanage system in place, so that people would not have to be constantly sent into foster care situations where the kids are abused. And this is going on a lot in our country. Well, you can protect your rights. I'm not encouraging you to go out and buy guns, but I'm not saying you have to get rid of your guns either. I don't support gun control in any way. B Pink.
Can you restate your question, please?
Well, how would you like mandatory liability insurance on anyone who owns a gun? And my statement, B Pink, was, you want more insurance, mandatory insurance. I mean, a lot of you people who are former Democrats.
I'm not in favor of mandates or bans.
Yeah, I don't like mandates or bans, and a lot of Democrats do. And I don't think you should force people even for training in gun training. I don't want to register your guns either. I don't think we should keep a standing registration of people who are registered to own a gun.
I don't think
the government doesn't have the right to know. It really doesn't. And there's no benefit to the government to know other than to take away your rights.
That's ultimately her decision. I'm definitely not in favor of eliminating the option of abortion because what happened before abortion was legalized is that women still had abortions. They just had them in unsterile environments. I would encourage her to consider keeping the child, or like I said, there's a lot of people who would love to adopt a child. And so I don't think it's just a pro-life, pro-choice. I think that's just so limiting.
So anybody who's a
one
danger,
way or another.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about abortion now. I think pro-choice is the way. I personally think if a woman wants to make a choice, she should have a lot of choices available. Adoption is definitely one of them.
No, it is about education. Once you're pregnant, you still need to have education about your options.
And anybody who's a danger to themselves or others no one will be able to get a gun legally under the verification program. And that's a compromise between the left and the right in a different direction. A lot of hardcore right-wing legal gun right owner people say, no, we won't budge. Even mental patients can have the right to bear arms under our Constitution. And they really stick to their guns, too. No pun intended. Well, yeah, pun intended. These NRA people really stick to their guns. And
that's true. They do.
They don't want to bend. They don't want to compromise. And we're centrists. We reach compromises. We try to find even ground between the two parties. Thanks, Sarah, for coming in.
You don't need to how do I do that? Take care of this situation over here.
You go like that, and then you go like this, and all I can do is do this.
Oh, is there something down here? No.
I don't know. That's the only thing that I could see.
Yeah.
You could do that or the other. Frankly, I don't care. It's okay.
Okay.
I would love it if you could get me a new tie, Jelly Soft Curls. Yeah, if you'd like to make a donation to our party, if you're a U.S. citizen, you can do that. I'm looking for a new tie like this because this is an old tie. This is the one I was swatted in when we were swatted out in front of our house illegally against our will. Yeah, so this is the tie that I had from that time period. This was a SWAT tie. So I need a new one like this if you want to look for it. Thank you, Sarah. Oh, by the way, there's dinner in the microwave. Okay. I prepped her a little rice chili dinner. I made this big, huge meal the other night, and I put it on my YouTube site if you want to learn how to make it. I did it in under 50 minutes. It may need another reheat if you want. Sometimes it takes a couple zappings to get it in the middle. But that's my site if you want to go check out some of... Oh, that's not my site. I missed a name. Dang. Hang on. Don't click that link. Nobody exists at that link. All right. Is it Chile as in Chile? Yeah. Not Chile. Chile is the nation of Chile. Yeah, this is Chile. Ah, Chile. What's the centrist position on tax cut for the rich, corporations that Trump and Republicans are pushing? I'm actually okay with the estate tax being where it's at, not increasing it. I'm not really in favor of increasing estate or inheritance taxes, but I am in favor of expanding out the payroll tax, making sure that people who are getting a lot of money in a big salary, because I know a lot of people are bringing in big salaries and others aren't. I think they should pay, there should be no cap on the payroll tax. And in that way, I would differ from some of the Republicans. But I'm pretty conservative on the tax side. I don't want to overtax the population. In fact, I would like to tax less. We have a flat tax, 10% flat tax we impose, or we want to impose. It would be no tax credits or deductions, but you get one massive deduction at $100,000. So if you make less than $100,000, you would definitely have a, thank you. You would definitely have a tax deduction of $100,000. So anyone making less than $100,000 would not pay taxes with the flat tax. Oh, bid.me is going to end. Wow. So Scissorfight got a letter from bid.me saying Wow. New signups and uploads will be disabled effective today. Somebody must have got to these people. Yeah, and shut down another alternative to YouTube. Well, people are going to be scrambling to find places. Obviously, vid.me was a good alternative, but it's not working. So, yeah. You'll be able to play existing videos from your video manager until December 14th, at which point they permanently delete the video vid.me servers. Okay, so what's the strategy? What are people talking about putting their stuff on, Scissor Fight? When will you end the war on fat people? We're not trying to fight a war against fat people. We're trying to, I think the best way is to incentivize exercise. So I'm going to actually put together a plan to create kinetic bicycle generators at all of our gyms so that people can actually get money back from their gym fees by bicycling. So whenever they bicycle, they're generating electricity, which lowers the cost of their bill. That's what I'm going to encourage. It's true. Goodbye for now. Vid.me is saying came a long way, but now they're leaving. Huh. We're building something new. Couldn't find a path to sustainability if they're building something new. Well, I don't know. Vid.me had a lot of fun. Things happening. It's a shame that they're dropping it like that. Yabi, are you serious? Are you making this up? Jared Kushner? Are you sure? It sounds very credible because the timing could be right. Michael Flynn could be turning state's evidence against Jared Kushner. Rice can feed the world, yeah. But we don't need to focus on just rice. Let's not forget grits. Oy vey, boygi, yeah. Can you take off? I am not wearing a wig. This is my hair. You can see me pulling my follicles in my head. Yeah, I think I'm going to get off the GMO train. I don't really want to eat, or, genetically modified grits or rice. Thank you. Okay. The current proposal, a massive wealth redistribution away from the middle class and working poor. Yeah, Ray, I agree with you. It's just another tax break for the rich. That's all Trump is putting together, Ray. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. The two parties continue to give themselves tax breaks for the rich. They talk a big line on the Democratic side about helping the average person, but they're really not getting anybody any real money. I'm the originator of the basic income plan that everyone's talking about. I started talking about getting people money, and then we finally totaled up what we could put out, and we could offer every U.S. adult 18 or over $400 per month to get ahead of this terrible inequity in the country financially. Just a starting point, but at least we get people some cash who have nothing, like former veterans who are on the street right now, don't have any veteran support. They have to go to food banks. They have no money coming in. Maybe they didn't work long enough to get Social Security, or they're in that donut hole, or they don't qualify yet. They're not 62. Willie, I'm not talking about the poor paying taxes. I'm talking about the poor getting money out of the tax base. And by the way, Willie, your taxes aren't paying the poor directly. Our tax money that everybody spends, or income tax that you pay, goes, for the most part, for income taxes to the Treasury to pay the interest on the debt that we're acquiring to pay the poor. So unless we can handle the cost overruns of Obamacare and the military industrial complex now, with Trump upping spending so much, we're not going to be able to meet our bottom line for the average person. So we came up with a plan to take some of the money we would normally give the military and wasteful medical spending and go in this direction. This also eliminates welfare. Every U.S. citizen over 18 would collect a $400 check. So if you're all living with grandma, instead of grandma getting a $1,200 check or a $2,500 check, you each get $400, and then you pay into your monthly budget, and grandma handles the money. This teaches us all a little bit of self-control, financial self-control. Many of you don't have that. We're trying to teach people on how to maintain a certain level of financial self-control, and that will build up the base, which is eroding. And any progressive would tell you, poor people are getting poorer and rich are getting much, much richer. Good point. Will it pickles? Well, this whole plan revolves around the Homestead Renewal Plan to kickstart jobs in America. which we put together as a simple plan, and I'm amazed nobody could follow up with the idea. It's let's do fireside chat with Dave. Okay. Howdy, everybody. Everyone wants to have a home. And what a better place than to have a home that you could pay for with monthly payments as low as $400 a month. Maybe even $5. In fact, you could probably take the money we're going to give you and put it toward your house. If we pay you $400 a month, all you'd have to come up with is another $100 to have a house just like this. That's right, $500 a month for 10 years, you could own a house just like this. Completely renovated and made better with brand new siding and new roofing, a 40-year roof, and even a solar panel to boot. That's right. But you're not going to get reparations. Nobody's going to get you reparations. Dave, have you thought about creating ATP memes to spread on social media? You know, Blink, why don't you get started working on some of those? You can spread them yourself. Yeah, run them through us. And then I'll just give you the go-ahead. We got to do something because we're alive on the social media, but not in a big way. We've been systematically censored at Twitter and YouTube for the past 8 years. The same number of subscribers exist on our site, the exact same number. They haven't changed. So they stopped our subscriber numbers about 6 or 7, maybe even 8 years ago. So this is another alternative. The meme idea is a great idea. Feel free to start making some and run them through the show and see what we think. You know, I plan on getting on the state ballots in every single state, and if at the very least I have to apply to 35 states as a write-in candidate individually, so that at least I can be a write-in candidate in this cycle. But I must tell all of you that a third party won't ever succeed without mainstream media attention. And if I can't get mainstream media attention in any way, there's pretty much no way we're going to succeed in America. I'm sorry to say, but that's the fact. Now, since I've been censored for 8 years in my own country and they won't run any stories about me and they shut down my hit counters, we're kind of out here in La La Land, but the good thing is we've got UHF viewers all over the world watching us. So that's a big plus to get the world audience looking at us. But America is censoring its own people. It's not something I'm making up either. Trump was never a third party. He was only trying to skid on the sidelines to pretend like he was. He never represented a break from the existing corrupt status quo. When they said he was going to, drain the swamp, he really filled it with snakes. So we have a snake pit now. We don't have a swamp. Oh, so this is fake news? So Trump is not getting rid of Rex Tillerson? No kidding. He's calling it fake news. Okay, well, Trump is back up, is supporting Rex again. Well, good. I stood up for Rex, even though I'm not, a real big fan of him, because he allowed all those pedophiles to continue working in the Boy Scouts, and then he allowed them to become scoutmasters. But Rex Tillerson definitely stood up to Trump, so I'm kind of glad in a way that we keep a guy like Rex, because he isn't doing whatever Trump tells him to do. I like that. Yeah, we need more of that. Good. Well, I hope that's the truth. We can't tell what the truth is now because there's so much fake news being germinated out there in blah blah land. My favorite 80s movie, I believe it was Rock and Roll High, I believe, was one of my favorites. Great show, David. Keep it going. Thanks, every 48 people. Here is the Ramones Rock and Roll High School YouTube. Let me just give you a sample of, a snippet. Okay, that would be my favorite 80s movie, okay? Rock and Roll High with the Ramones. I had a chance to meet the Ramones. I was doing t-shirts for them back in the early 80s. So thank you. Yeah, it was fun back in the 80s delivering t-shirts to the movie stars. It was really awesome. I had a kind of an interesting mentor as a boss who was kind of a king in his own right. He was profiled on Walter Cronkite as the king of comics. And he was a character. He really was. He, at one point, was selling... He didn't really care because he was kind of a hippie. At one point, he was selling his comics, and some guy came in and bought a #1 Superman from him for $40 because he had a couple copies. It's like, okay, it's worth $500,000 now, but he sold it for $40. But anyway, he was kind of an interesting guy, I must say. I don't think I've ever met a more interesting businessman than this guy I worked with. He wasn't the greatest boss, but he was, that's the way it is. December 1st, 2017. I don't like Walter Cronkite for a couple reasons. I'm a little concerned that he may be a Satanist. You know, speaking of weird elitists that have been in the media for so long. We had a video that came in last week from a Walter Cronkite cut. Walter Cronkite. Walter Cronkite. Yeah, I don't have it with me right now. Yeah, there's a cut of him talking about, if I played it, they'd probably charge me monetization too. How do you feel about a constitutional convention for an amendment to get money out of politics? I'm all for it, Ray. If we can get 3/4 of our country to sign off to a constitutional convention, that'd be great. This actually takes 2/3 to get it going. That would be wonderful. Not many people realize that states need to do that. States actually could get together, and if 2/3 of the states actually want to put a constitutional convention in, the instrument is there to do it. But it's incredibly hard to get states motivated because they're so bought off by our two-party system. Most people are just going to cave to the party line whenever it comes to doing anything. So, yeah, you post a link, Blink. No problem. Okay, the example of Superman's first appearance of Superman sold $575. This is almost a mint copy found in an attic. Yes, Superman 1's first appearance sold for $575. Thank you. Yeah, he was back before then. He was the king of comics. They profiled him on Walter Cronkite's show. And he was selling, he sold, I believe, 2 copies of Superman #1 for $40. It was like before the whole rage of people making money on collectibles came into place. So he kind of kicked the whole comic book industry off, but he was selling stuff for next to nothing. It's kind of amazing how things kind of changed under his footing. But anyway, I'm not going to get personal because that's going to be in my book. You're going to read about it. A driver delivering Amazon packages caught on camera pooping in a driveway. This is exactly why we need more drones to watch people poop, you know? Man, it's 61 degrees in LA. That's nice. Eyewitness News. Caught on camera. I'm sorry, I need flash to watch this video. It's just as well anyway. I don't really want to watch a man. A contracted Amazon driver in a marked U-Haul van was caught on camera making an unwanted delivery. His own body waste. Then the female... Oh, it was a woman. Oh, okay. Good to know. Yeah, I heard about this video. Yeah, I don't really want to play it. Thank you. Okay, for the last... photos of Trump's national Christmas tree lighting are pretty bleak. Wow. So it's kind of like dark days ahead, huh? This is the end. The Elite Daily. Here we go. Take a look. The big event was marked with a wonderful time. Melania was there. That's how many people were there at the event. It wasn't very popular because it was too cold. Melania was there. Jingle all the way. And this is an Obama caroling with Santa in the old days. Boy, those were the days when the Democrats thought Obama was going to do something. Remember that? And he never did, other than create this behemoth, costly overrun of healthcare costs, Obamacare. I am getting personal. Well, that was kind of a good old halcyon days when we really thought that this social community organizer was going to somehow do anything, when all he did was push the New World Order objective of getting rid of our beliefs, destroying the family, ripping into the core of who we are, morally speaking, by having a transgender wife in office. And I mean, many people are really tuned in now to know that Michelle is a dude. I mean, a lot of people are talking about how Barack Obama just talked about wanting to have sex with his professor in his new book, his male professor. So people are wondering why he's alluding to his gayness now after 8 years of deceiving the American people. So Jackson, what's been happening? You've been hacked or something? What went on? I noticed you said you were hacked earlier. Blink 1488 has something. Oh yeah, well, the flat earth movement is a direct correlation between the fluoridation in our water system and the stupidity in America. More and more people are believing this ridiculous theory that the CIA put together called the flat earth theory, called Shoot the Moon. It's called, the project is called Shoot the Moon. It was designed to take all that credible concern we have about why the government's hiding moon landing photographs and turning it into some ridiculous theory that somehow the earth is flat and there's a dome above us and there's nothing beyond the dome. It's just empty space. So apparently this chart shows the number of people who actually believe that the flat earth is spiking right now. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, even more so than the chemtrails. So more and more people are being diverted into this no man's land of believing that there's a flat earth. It's basically intellectual hell when you don't have enough critical thinking ability to think through this and you're forced to think the most ridiculous thought on earth. Yeah. Yeah, the dome is out there, and what's beyond the dome? Nothing. Nothing's beyond the dome, just like nothing is in their head. I would ask the Obamas to come clean about their sexuality. I've openly admitted I am a heterosexual. I mean, I've made that brazen statement to people who think I'm gay, and they keep thinking, David, you gotta tell people where you're coming from. And I am heterosexual, so I have definitely, been a raging heterosexual all my life. So I think Obamas need to admit that they're a homosexual transgender couple. And I think everything will be okay then. We'll accept them as who they are. People that deceived us for 8 years and wasted our time. I am not ignoring the astrolab here. Duckstein, women don't... What are you talking about, Duck? That's just nothing. We don't talk about women's body habits here. I'm giving Sarah the gift of comfort. Yes, I developed a fully... well, don't tell her, but a fully lifelike replica of myself called the Spooner. And the Spooner is a human effigy that you can sit next to you and cuddle with. It's got heating blankets in it, so it gets up to body temperature. And I think it's an adorable present. Don't tell her I told you, okay? Yeah, the Spooner. It looks just like me. It's a fully functional automatic spooning device. No special appendages or anything, so there's not any, body parts. It has a blank spot. It doesn't have any body parts. David, will you accept Obama as a raging heterosexual? No. All I can tell you is Michelle Obama is a dude. And I don't want to play the Michelle Obama bouncing her penis around on the screen of the Ellen DeGeneres next to her. I don't want to go out there and do that. Don't force me to do that, please. I will be streaming on Christmas Day, assuming it is, well, even if it is a Sunday, I will be streaming. Yeah. we do a show every day because a lot of people are completely dispossessed. They're, yeah, it's going to be a Monday. Yeah, Christmas. Christmas Day is a Monday. Christmas Eve will be streaming. That's the night before Christmas and all through the night. So I guess we'll be doing a couple Sundays, Sundays, back-to-back Sundays. That's going to not be very good for Sarah. She does not like doing Sundays. Could we somehow set the date up to the Mayan calendar that would change the date to a different date? Yeah, the Monday is going to be Christmas Day, right? Yeah, maybe I should take Christmas Eve off. Here's the Flat Earth Research Institute. They've been working heavily at coming up with new ideas. As you can see, this is a major task that they're undertaking. They've got their Coke bottle, their heroin kit, they've got their Red Bull, and their amphetamines. And they're definitely tweaking on the idea of, gee, man, like, what if it's a dome and they're like projecting the stars? I know, dude. You know, no, I'm sorry, I don't do drugs. I'm not a crackhead like Barack Obama. I'm not that kind of a guy. Welcome to Dave's Fireside Chat. I'm Dave. I'm going to wear my protective sunglasses in case I get burned by the fire. Sometimes you get too close to the heat. Well, I think flat earthers are primarily crackheads and meth heads. I'm sure you know yourself that you're a meth head. You don't have to admit it to anybody. So I'm not like Father Dan or something. You don't have to confess to me, buddy. We're sitting by the burning embers of the crackling fire. I gave up worrying about Elon Musk and how he has to take crack in order to stay up. I don't talk about it much anymore. I figure if he's going to do crack, that's on his problem. You know, it's not my problem. His plan to go to the Mars is just as good as his plan to go to anywhere else, like, you know, Uranus. Whatever. I mean, if he can't go out of the atmosphere, might as well he talk about going to Mars. I mean, what difference does it make? What difference at this point does it make? I don't think we're going to ever get out of the Van Allen belts. I'm one of those people that really doubt the moon landing ever happened. My 86 billion? No. I don't believe we're going to continue the space scam anymore. I want to put together unmanned flights for testing purposes. I want to see how far we can go with an unmanned landing vehicle on the moon. My primary goal would be to get to the moon with an unmanned vehicle. That's not a big task considering we allegedly went to the moon already in 1969 and 70, 71. I look like Bono? Wow, thanks. Lance Armstrong. Tour de France, yes. You know, I have a question. Did Lance Armstrong really have testicular cancer? Or was that just a lie too? Does anybody know? Cheryl Crow, are you listening? You can call me in at 1-800. No, actually, we are at 707 your ATP if you ever want to call us. Oh, and you got crackling fire as well? That's a blast of heat, man. That's going to keep me warm. Very nice. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Oh, it's just the sound in the background. Okay. Nice. I like that. Very nice. Yeah, the Apollo spacecraft hull was so thin you can hold a 1 micrometer. You can't even handle a 1 micrometeor. I've been to the spacecraft, the landing module. I agree. At Smithsonian. Yeah, just you feel the warmth of this room now that we have the warmth of the heat sound. Sunday's supermoon to be the biggest, brightest full moon of 2017. Wow. Starry, starry night, moon shadows. I'm singing songs just in response to all this new input data. Whoa. This is quite a picture there. Look at that artistic work that NASA does. You got to admit they've got one of the nicest art departments out there. They put a lot of money into their art department. We'll throw another shrimp on the Barbie here and cook up a barbecue dinner. So Sunday supermoon is going to be biggest, fullest the moon 2017. Wow. Expect the size to be much bigger. It's a supermoon. Supermoon. Okay. Now, if you're a flat earther, they're going to be adjusting the image on the scrim on Sunday. So you'll see a larger image projected onto the scrim of the Superdome if you're a flat earther. We should just develop an entire show just for flat earthers. You know? Just to kind of characterize everything in terms of flat earthers so that they'd understand everything that we're talking about. In the far distant universe that's a projection onto the scrim, no alien life exists because there's nothing beyond the scrim. You know, I'm more than willing to admit that there is no alien life. I'm okay with that because I've yet to see an alien myself. David, zenith of the moon's rise, I shall plunge my dagger into still beating heart. Well, that's wonderful. You're reciting some very important text there. It's the book of all enormous things. It's part of the satanic verses. Why are you reading out of the satanic verses? That is not cool, man. Coming to our show, reading out of the satanic verses. And here I wanted to give you $400 a month. Well, I don't know, man. We don't have a lot of wiggle room here for Satanists. I'm thinking, you know, we could. Well, the Fermi paradox is very similar to a similar Drake equation, which was developed prior to the Fermi paradox. The idea that extraterrestrials exist is part of a mathematical equation. In the infinite universe, the Fermi paradox as well as the Drake equation work perfectly fine. But if you limit the universe to just the outside of the dome over your head and nothing exists beyond there anywhere, then there is no possibility of alien life or extraterrestrial life based on the flat earth theory. I'm using my logic back at you. You know, I'm not, you know, going to hospices and getting registration cards from invalids was, in my opinion, a great idea. We ran that through a lot of people in 2012. We got note takers. Nobody wants to go to a nursing home and walk up to some old person and say, hey, look at this guy, he's running for president. I don't give a crap, I'm dying anyway. Get the hell out of my room, buddy. You know, they don't exactly want to, you know, talk to you. Welcome, Lana. We got Lana watching, people all over the Lana network. Welcome, Lana. Yes, I understand that Trump is going to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. So we're going to move our entire operation from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem because Trump wants to make it the capital. I really want to make Jerusalem the capital, and I don't care how much money I have to put into this. It's not my money after all, I'm just using your money, but I really think it's a good idea. The Zionist that he is, Trump is giving a speech Wednesday recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. A White House spokesman refused to comment about the report. The president has always said it's a matter of when, not if. Well, if you're going to have a harebrained thought, you might as well come up with a harebrained thought now. I mean, you're on your way out, buddy. Good luck with that. Jeez, moving all. Do you have any idea what it's like to move a U.S. embassy? I don't. That's why I'm asking you. Just curious. Trump has 3 chins, yeah. He needs to have lipo here. I think Ellen DeGeneres has become a spokesman for Mandalay Bay and then the God knows what happened there, because we never saw the closed-circuit TV footage of Steve Paddock carrying those weapons into his room. I mean, you'd think we would see him carting 30 weapons in duffel bags. But oh no, the government doesn't want us to see any proof at all. They just want us to accept that all 538 people were killed or injured and 58 people were killed. Yet we don't really see any bodies, and they had no open casket burials. Nice. Okay. Gotcha. We're supposed to believe all this crap. Sure. Well, welcome, because I just created a new planet for all of us. Yeah, it's not something I'm proud of at all. I had to dig deep for this. I'm going to change my name to Ritardo Montalban. Welcome, I am Ritardo Montalban. And look, my friend, Tattoo. Oh, the plane, the plane. Well, Tattoo, how are you? How is the plane? Oh, the plane is putting out chemtrails. What do you mean chemtrails? These are contrails. This is condensed air. No, it's poison. They're poisoning the atmosphere. Don't be ridiculous. You know, so we can have that conversation with ourselves. At Planet Retardo. I just don't think we need to move an embassy. Seriously. I mean, all those cameras and logistics, the whole thing. What a waste of money. I don't have a toupee. This is my real hair. These are actually connected to follicles. You can see me pulling on them. Yeah, I have a tight haircut. It's not really, something I like to get out of. I'm not some hippie or something like that, I'm not some Leonard Skinner, if you know what I mean. Hey, I like Leonard Skinner. You like Leonard Skinner too? Okay, the U.S. government wants Martin Shkreli's secret Wu-Tang Clan album. Is he starting his sentence yet? I understand he's going to serve a year or something. Is that? I said he shouldn't do that. Well, yeah, we got Martin Shkreli's. Last August, he was convicted of securities fraud. He's now in jail awaiting sentencing. Wow. He didn't take the plea deal. The government says it wants Shkreli to forfeit some $7.4 million in asset pursuant to his conviction. Wow. Now they want even more, including Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, which he bought for $2 million. Oh, man. NBC, New York. Deadline will NBC News. I'm Tom Brokaw.
Is sending shockwaves through the community, especially because...
Oh, that's a different story. I thought that was it. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, let's get the guest chat in here. I've been delinquent. I've been, just leaving you guys in guest hell. But we want to make sure people had some time to think about their bad ways and change their guest behavior. Yes, we know that a lot of you just want to sit around on your ass all the time and hang out at Planet Retardo. And it's no big deal. I'm not trying to, make you feel bad for being retarded. Somebody said, oh, you can't use that word retarded. It's illegal. No, there's a thing called freedom of speech. And believe it or not, retard is the best word to describe words that we no longer are allowed to use, like dumb or stupid. Yeah. Would you prefer Planet Retard, or do you mind Retardo? Which do you, anybody prefer Retardo? Press 1. If you like retard, press 2. Planet Retard or Planet Retardo? No, you probably forgot the numbers now. Okay, you don't even know what I said. You want retard? I think 2s are going to win out. You want Retardo? Okay, we got a retard. Planet Retard. Yeah, there we go. See? See how easy that was? We have the power. We can change it to retard. Welcome to Planet Retard. Although Retardo does go with Ricardo Montalban. I don't know. I'm working on a little skit. Well, you can't use the word stupid anymore. You got to use something more like, challenged or handy-capable challenged, but that doesn't really say anything because most people who are handicapped are offended by that because they're not retarded, they're brilliant. We have a couple people who are who are dealing with a handicap that are absolutely brilliant. They're attorneys. They come in our room. But intellectually challenged, yeah. This is not a wig. God, why do you keep saying I'm wearing a wig when it's my real hair? It just amazes me how you keep this constant dialogue going with yourself. I think I'll flip the other side after Sarah comes here. Yeah, I could wear a wig, but that was last week, Friday. Should I wear the wig and just see how it looks? Put it on. Yeah, we got a wig. Planet Rubberhead. Yeah, this is a good wig, too. It suits me. See how great this is? Yeah, it adds a certain je ne sais quoi to my hair. Rotating wig. I don't know, the wig thing's not working out for me tonight. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I modded Sis because we had a lot of problems. People coming to the show, they were giving us nothing but problems. It was terrible. I think I need to comb this or something. There we go. And the nice thing is it gets rid of any wrinkles in my forehead, which is nice. See that? Hi. I've got a little girdle thing here I got to tuck under my head. I'm not sure what that girdle thing is. Oh, I look handsome, thank you. All right. Totally logical. You just focused on you, huh? What's your thoughts on this Me Too? I don't know. I don't even... All I can tell you is I have the hashtag Penisgate. Yeah, we're doing hashtag Penisgate, not hashtag Me Too. Well, it's an assault against male sensibilities, for one. And we have to raise awareness for the simple fact that men are being accused of being gropers everywhere now. So I think Penisgate is more important than Me Too at this point, as a hashtag. Michael Flynn's guilty plea is bad for Trump in a lot of ways. Yeah. It could be falling down on top of him. Oh, God. He can't sing worth bean crap. All righty. We're getting ourselves together here. It just takes a little while here at Planet Retard. Welcome to Planet Retard, where you're at home no matter what your IQ is. Thank you. No matter how stupid you are or how smart you are, you're still a retard for not stopping the atrocities being committed in America today. Michael Flynn's guilty plea is bad for Trump. Very bad. The guilty plea of former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, the fourth official from Trump's campaign implicated in criminal activity, is in several ways even more damaging to the president than Special Counsel Robert Mueller's charges earlier this fall against Paul Manafort, who actually ran Trump's campaign for a time. In short, Flynn's plea is a sign that Mueller's investigation has reached a more central place within Trump's orbit, and that it could creep closer to Trump still. But let's go through why in more detail. Flipping. Mueller is charging Flynn only with perjury, even though there have been a number of other allegations against him, particularly about his lobbying work. Flynn's guilty plea suggests that he's cooperating with Mueller's investigation. In fact, ABC News is reporting that Flynn has told the prosecutors that he's willing to provide potentially damaging information about the president. Indeed, Flynn was a top advisor in both campaign and briefly in the White House. And he could have damaging information about the very senior officials in the administration, potentially including senior advisor Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of President Trump himself. And there's recency. According to the court document, Flynn lied to the FBI about his contacts with the Russian ambassador Kislyak while working as Trump's security advisor. The White House, unlike Gates, Manafort, or George Papadopoulos, the Trump foreign policy advisor who had pled guilty to lying to the FBI about his interactions, Flynn followed Trump into the White House and took one of the most important posts in a presidential administration. Yep. And, of course, the obstruction of justice issue that could be dogging the president, especially when he fired James Comey, yep, and interpreted his statement as asking him to end the FBI investigation of Flynn, which Comey refused to do. So, interjecting Trump's position all the way down the line, even telling his son what to say, and having his son flip his testimony about why he met the attorney for the Russians at the Trump Tower in June of 2016. So we could see Donald Trump Jr., the next indictment could roll in, because he clearly has lied and changed testimony twice. All right, Planet Simpleton. So you're kind of reacting to the word retard, huh? Okay, I don't blame you. It's very politically incorrect, and I don't want to push a lot of buttons. We'll just call it Planet Dumb, okay? For lack of a better word. Okay. Planet Dumb. Welcome to Planet Dumb. Sometimes the least amount of words or letters is the best. I'm special too. I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. Sounds a little bit like Al Franken, doesn't it? Yeah, poor Al Franken. You know, how many different women now are coming forward talking about him? What is the number, up to 4? Something like that. It's obvious when a man doesn't have fulfillment in their sexual life that they reach out and they overcompensate for their need for sexual fulfillment. I really believe that a lot of men are suffering from like erectile dysfunction or something, and they just can't seem to get it up. So they try to hit on every woman around them. Look at what Sean Connery said in front of a national audience, and no one even said anything. Watch this.
You did an interview in which you said, not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist, it's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No, not at all.
You think it's good to slap a woman?
No, I don't think it's good.
You don't think it's bad?
I don't think it's that bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. Yeah.
What would merit it?
Well, if you have tried everything else, and women are pretty good at this, they can't leave it alone. They don't want to have the last word, and you give them the last word, but they're not happy with the last word. They want to say it again and get into a really provocative situation. Then I think it's absolutely right.
What would...
I do not support hitting a woman, but isn't that amazing how that didn't even draw any type of response from the media when he said that? Yeah. And so you have men now groping women and touching women indecently and making references to sex. Now it's coming out and everybody's doing it in Hollywood and in government. And we paid out $17 million, all of which landed in the hands of very few people, ironically. Some people got paid off for not actually having to face the charges. They basically got off with our U.S. tax dollars going in to pay somebody, you know, to shut up, to not talk. Like this lawmaker right here. Let's show you this story here first. This guy is the only known one that we know of. John Conyers, they believe, was using the fund to pay off people, but we don't know specifically. But this guy definitely paid $84,000 for a sexual harassment settlement Representative Blake Farenthold, Republican, Texas. In 2014, he used taxpayer funds to end a dispute with his communications director. So it becomes an in-house he said, she said kind of thing, and then everyone has to pay out of pocket for these people's indiscretions. Former NSA employee pleads guilty to taking classified information. Yeah. Najia Fo Ellicott pled guilty to 1 count of willful retention of national defense. And Najia Fo, what kind of a person is this? It sounds to me like she's or he or she, 67 Ellicott City, Maryland, is selling our secrets somewhere. Mr. Fo had been charged in secret. He worked as a developer, software developer for the NSA, but was born in Vietnam. He did disclose that he worked from 06 to 16. I wouldn't doubt he wrote the code to break into your Skype sex calls. So you're having a Skype sex call with some woman or man, and you're, going in there and taking off your clothes, which you should never do. This guy Fo probably was the one who developed the software to hack in. You leave when guest chat is off? Well, that makes sense. See, this person really likes guest chat, see? Okay, she says she quit her campaign job after he harassed her. Now he's in Congress. Oh, wow. It's just one story after another. Isn't this getting to a little bit, the sex gate getting a little bit too much? 64% of the UHF viewers leave when guest chat is turned off. It's true. We really should just feature our guest chat on the screen at all times. So everyone who says something could be, their bolden statement could go right into the full tilt. And everyone would see. No, fireplace has not started me on fire. I'm good. Diane. This is the chat as it's rolling out, everybody. You're watching it on the big screen. Duckstain, I knew you'd get, yeah, see? And then we have to purge that. This is what we have to do every night, in case you're wondering. Yeah, so this is like every day we have to go in, and that's why we have a mod now, because we'd want to keep the guest chat clean. We hire the cleaner. That was a fast mute there, Scissor Fight. Yeah, large chat, please. Foo good, yeah. Last year, a 25-year-old woman left her job on Democratic Representative Ruben Kihuni's campaign because of what she says was repeated unwanted propositions for dates and sex. Now, a lot of men like dates. They don't like figs. They prefer date nut bread and dates. But no, dates. That's right. Dates and sex. I sincerely apologize for anything that I may have said or done that made her feel uncomfortable, Kihun said. Good. There he is. Up and coming politician. Nevada Democrat. Repeatedly, allegedly harassed and made sexual advances toward her during his 2016 congressional campaign. So she quit her job and she's now in Congress. So Samantha, whose last name BuzzFeed is withholding, began working for Representative Kuhn early in the campaign. Okay. Why is this an important story? I don't know. So I'm just going to drop out of that one because I could care less. This is getting ridiculous. You're on the big screen. Yeah, everybody's typing away. Isn't this nice? I've been waiting 8 years to do this. I thought this would be a great time to show it off. Freedom to put the chat. It's like being on Times Square, I know. It's great. I had a goal to do this a long time ago, but it just never really, worked its way to the head of the show until 8 years into it. Yeah, I heard about the Amazon driver. That's an old story. This woman took a crap while on her drive. Yeah. I know, what can I say? Amazon is not screening their employees very well. Dave, flip your number, flip? What? Hiya. Everyone's saying hello to everybody. Well, I'm glad that everybody gets to watch the show now and participate. We know that the woman took a crap in the driveway. What's the big deal? I mean, This is not the end of the world when something like this happens. There's so many other things to talk about, like Mel Gibson's reveal that people in Hollywood are drinking the blood of children. That's right, you're a chat star. I'm not, no. My hands are up here. Somebody said, are you masturbating right now? But now you're seeing what the recorded broadcast, what we do in chat every night. And this is an ongoing thing. We enjoy having at least the opportunity. Candy Rain's watching the show over there. And we got Candy Rain in her own chat room as a moderator over at YouTube, which is cool. There she is. And none of us are actually doing anything wrong, which is nice. Isn't this freedom? Finally, we can free at last to do whatever you're going to do. Now, I Love Fries, that was a bit much. No one to talk about their body habits like that. You're the only one. It's fireplace is a holiday irony, yeah. Word. LOL, Dave. It changes the dimension of the chat, I think, when people have the ability to see their own chat on the big screen. It's kind of altering our world in some ways. We're being watched by ourselves. Yes. They have Alaska getting same day and night light patter as the rest of us, yeah. The flat earth model debunks itself, Candy Rain said. Yeah. And you thought aliens scared NASA away from the moon. That's a possibility. Oh, thank you. Okay, great. Appreciate it. Thank you. I was a little bit kind of sketchy about having something on my head like that. Well, it makes my hair kind of get like straw because it creates a heat seal. It's like putting a wet bag over your head. Don't do that, by the way. Thank you. Well, I'll put this away for now. It's just fun to take out and have fun with. You know, it's part of the show. It's the dimension of the show that, you know, yeah, super flat. It takes all the curl out of the hair. Well, I was getting scared even thinking about looking like myself. When I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror and I go, unbelievable. God. Now I look like every boring politician. Oh, I put it back on? I'm sorry. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You tell me what to do. Look, I'm not a female, and I'm definitely not a transgender. So, could you just start not talking about sex on a night like this? Okay, I will punish you by pulling the guest chat down. Yeah. We had a guy in here that said that he hasn't had sex since May 16th, 1989. And that was sex with himself. So, a lot of people are suffering in that department. True fact, I know. You were in last night talking about it. Okay. Well, we're kind of forced into this whole life on this Earth, so we decided to give it a new name. We're going to call it Planet Dumb. Planet Earth is just too intellectual. Yeah, we'll just call it Planet Dumb instead. Well, there's a lot of things that we don't realize are happening while we sit here and do nothing. They're systematically trying to get rid of our rights as citizens, making it possible to turn any one of us into an enemy combatant of our own country simply by calling us one without any oversight. We got rid of posse comitatus, so now the U.S. Army can... Well, actually, the National Guard has distributed SWAT vehicles to every local police department with very little training to use them against the American people. Put chat back on the screen. Okay, whatever you want. It's your show, too. Catch Me Outside just said, is anyone here? I am. I'm here. I'm watching you. Is anybody out there? No, I'm not going to play a gay hitman. I'm sorry. No, that's just not acceptable. Is anybody out there? See, you're limited to only about 5 words in the screen. A bisexual hitman? And that makes it any better? Dude, I'm not gay. I'm a heterosexual. You're just sexually attracted to me because that's all you can think about. I know, it must be tough being you. It'd be so much better if you weren't you and you were somebody else. You know, Scientific American did a study on why the medical costs are so high. It's because they have unnecessary tests and treatment. So if you want to get out of Planet Dumb, you may want to, you know, read this article. I'll speed read it for you. Okay. There you go. You can read it yourself. It was good reading. I'm glad I was able to, you know, read it. Oh, you grow up, dude. I have fun doing the show. You can put your head back in the sand and get old while I stay young. That blabble was awesome. I know. Well, I was speed reading. I'm not able to actually enunciate the words. I mean, you can talk pretty fast when you speed read. Yes. For instance, if you were to go to, you know, half speed. No, forget it. Oh, yeah. We showed artificial muscles last week, yesterday. That was fun. This is 5 times the size, but you get the drift. Okay. I think if you grind up the hemp seeds, you'll be okay. But if you don't, there you go, DT Laura, standing proud with Canada and America. Right on. I think you should probably grind them up and put them in your cereal. They're probably fine. You know, I had some walnuts in the kitchen that right on the brink of getting too old. I bought them about 5 years ago, and they're still in their shell. So I'm pulling that stuff out, and I'm going to do everything I can. Thank you. Yeah, feed them to your parrot. That's a good idea. So, yeah, hello. Sarah's here. Do you want to leave the fire on?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, we got a big Vaughn thing going up December. I got to get that in by December 7th. We'll submit our video. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are spreading rumors about us on the internet, and I got to tell you, they are not true. And I will tell you this, that if this continues, I've got every reason to believe that we will have to pursue criminal charges against people stalking us. So, just so you know. All right, thank you. Yeah, you know, I don't want to bring up such negative stuff here about the apocalypse coming, but Elon Musk is saying that we may very well have an AI apocalypse. This is a pretty interesting article where Elon Musk is saying that it's an eerie visual related to his belief that AI could usher in a Skynet-style apocalypse where machines take over and kill us all. In a talk given last July, Musk said, "I keep sounding the alarm bell, but until people see robots going down the street killing people, they don't know how to react because it seems so ethereal." So he's openly telling people he's worried. And we profiled this robot. Yeah, last week. See that? You can just watch it up here. But there's dangerous. Look at this.
Wow.
That's not the kind of thing that's going to say, yeah, we'll come back later. We don't need your ID and identification. They're the kind of thing that would knock your door down. It would keep going, and you couldn't even knock it out with a, right, auto targeting guns on it when it spins. Yeah, it could have auto targeting guns on it. So it's like we are virtually creating a police state while we create robotic police, and nobody in the American people are doing anything to stop this. Nothing. Elon Musk is landing on deaf ears. People just aren't in any way aware of how serious this problem is. It is serious. It's not something we should take lightly. We need a new political party to address these issues of cybernetics taking over, being weaponized against us. It's unfortunate we have to keep appealing to everybody all the time, but that's why we're here every day.
Hi, Victor and Emily.
Okay, everybody, we'll be. I'm going to be back in a bit. Sarah's going to give you, I guess, more trivia because you
British.
You do more trivia now.
I could do more trivia. Sometimes I do I might as well. It's Friday night.
Yeah,
I'll do more.
People like trivia. They want to learn grammar, but they don't want to press the envelope on grammar, I think. I know. Well, there's ways of dealing with robots, but not weaponized drones, swarming drones. We saw them last week. We talked about these swarming drones. They're weaponized drones that have a little charge, a bomb on board the drone. They can blow a hole in our skull. It's crazy. It's scary. It is dangerous, yeah.
Oh, that's cool, Laura. You appreciated your math teacher, loved your math teacher. Yeah, I had a couple of good math teachers that I really liked. I liked math a lot.
Thank you, viewers on UHF. Appreciate it. I'm glad the signal's getting through. Thank you.
There's a teacher came in to watch me teach today, and I was like, let's do a number talk. Because I just wanted to see, show this really cool thing with a number talk is like where I just throw up a problem and the kids can't solve it with paper and pencil. They have to think through it. And I'm like, oh, I can see some of you have zoned out and I've given up, and some of you, I can see you're trying to work through it. Oh, yes. His wife knew you had a crush on him. Our British and Proud says, these guys involved with the development of AI and robots seriously believe in civilizing our society with robots in the next 20 years. First will be China, then Saudi Arabia, probably India as well. It seems like that's probably one of the places that they would put in, try to bring about AI. Yes, I am David's significant other. British and Proud said Saudi have already given one of their experiments civilization like citizenship. Oh. Yeah, but when you get into the subject, it's like you really like the subject, and I think I had a crush on one or two of my math teachers before. Oh, no worries, British. I understood what you were saying. Yeah, that's crazy that they've given their one of their AI's citizenship. They can vote or something. I don't know. Do they even allow voting out there? Well, we look very similar, 844, and that's because, you know, people, you're usually attracted to people that you look like, I guess. You tune into Walmart security radio? What? I didn't even know there was such a thing, super duper genius. Yeah, isn't that sad, British? So sad. Ah, thanks, 841. We look a lot alike, but I have better hair. You think I look very similar to Mad Dog 1968? Are you Mad Dog 1968? You're just in it as a guest. You haven't signed in under your accounts, Mad Dog. Alright, the guests want trivia. Gin Drinker says, here we go. I got sidetracked from trivia earlier by people asking me questions. What was an intellectual movement of the 17th and 18th centuries marked by a celebration of the powers of human reason, a keen interest in science, the promotion of religious toleration, and a desire to construct governments free of tyranny? Some of the major figures of this intellectual movement were David Hume, Immanuel Kant, Jean Locke, the Baron de Montesquieu, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and Voltaire. Ooh, good guess about intellectualism, but no, that's not it. Hello, Catch Me Outside. Maybe Candy Rain is there. I don't know. I can see what you typed though, Catch Me Outside. Not reconscience, reconscience, Puritans, postmodernism, Mormons, no, none of that. Hodgers, you want to talk about pronouncing the words like indices and processes? I think it's indices, right? Indexes, from index. Bob Rossism, no. It was the Enlightenment, people. I think we need another Enlightenment. What are... Shall we stop right there? Because we're on to another letter. And shall we do some grammar? Everyone messes up the... We'll keep going. Maybe you guys know the next one. Starting with the letter F. What are islands in the South Atlantic Ocean, located near Argentina, but owned by Britain? Argentina has long claimed title to the islands and refers to them as Islas Malvinas. And they seized them in 1982, but Britain retook them after a brief war. Correct, it is the Falkland Islands. Okay, we'll do one more clue for trivia, and then I'll try to do a grammar one. With whom and who and whose and those. Who and whom? I'll get to that. What was a system of government that flourished in Europe from the 1920s to the end of World War II? Germany under Adolf Hitler, Italy under Mussolini, and Spain under Franco were all these types of states. As a rule, these types of governments are dominated by a dictator who usually possesses a magnetic personality, wears a showy uniform, and rallies his followers by mass parades, appeals to strident nationalism, and promotes suspicion or hatred. hatred of both foreigners and impure people within his own nation. Correct. I eat glue. And 4900. Fascism. Although both communism and fascism are forms of totalitarianism, fascism does not demand state ownership of the means of production, nor is fascism committed to the achievement of economic equality. In theory, communism opposes the identification of government with a single charismatic leader, the cult of personality, which is the cornerstone of fascism. Whereas communists are considered left-wing, fascists are usually described as right-wing. Today, the term fascist is used loosely to refer to military dictatorships, as well as governments or individuals that profess racism and that act in an arbitrary, high-handed manner. Okay, let's double check the who and whose and whom. But I think I know when to use those. But I'm just going to do a little. Oh, that's a good one. No, we won't be tested on any of this. It's just fun to talk about. You're like, fun? I don't think that was fun, Sarah, but if you say so. All right, now let me just pull this up. There we go. Layout. Okay, here we go. Thanks for joining me to find out a little grammar hint. Right now, we're going to talk about the difference between who and whom. So this is, oftentimes people don't even use whom, but let's talk about when. Oh, that's not good. Let me restart that. Stop local recording. David went to go eat his dinner. He'll be back in shortly. Okay, here we go. One more time. Thanks for joining me as we learn a little grammar tip. Today we're going to talk about the difference between who and whom. And the easiest way to know the difference with these is a little trick. If you're going to use who, it is to replace he or she. If you want to use whom, you use whom to replace him or her. So for instance, with whom did you play ball? Did you play ball with whom? So it's whom is the object of the sentence and who is a subject of a sentence. Subjects usually come first in the sentence. So who is eating my pie would be answered with he is eating my pie. With whom did you eat lunch? I ate lunch with him. So there you go. You can know the difference between who and whom. Join me next time on our next grammar tip. Okay. Simple, short, to the point. Can you imagine if the band The Who would have named themselves The Whom, The Hims, The They? You like the giant gingerbread cookie? Yes, that's quite lovely, isn't it? I think it's made out of fabric. Hi, Spinell. This is boring. I should be more excited about English, and then it wouldn't be so boring. Who, actually, it wouldn't be whom did you put to sleep. It would be who did you put to sleep. No, whom did you put to sleep? You're right. Well, you should be. Codger likes grammar. Thank you, 400. We use whom to ask which person received an action. Whom are you going to ask out to the party? Whose is a progressive pronoun like his and our. We use whose to find out which person something belongs to. With whom am I speaking? Correct. I'm speaking with him. I'm speaking with her. Actually, 201, that would be who here is a homosexual or heterosexual. Because you could answer it with he is homosexual or heterosexual. I don't want to buy a cattle prod. No, thank you. And then whose, W-H-O-S-E, is a possessive pronoun, like his or her. Whose bat is that? That is his bat. Is it okay to name a child whom? Imagine how much they would get picked on. I don't think that would be good. You can talk about that behavior. Go watch your paint dry. Be bored. Who shall be the next president? Because you can answer it with he shall be the next president. Oh, Rex, you're hilarious. Hello, King Dylan. We're just talking a little bit about grammar. Whom, who, and whose. Yes. Or like that old thing, who's on first, what's on second, when's on third. Hello, Zadian Rocks. It would be who wrote hybrid capitalism because it can be answered with he wrote hybrid capitalism. Which bird has the most vibrant colors, male or female? I would say it's a male because the men of every species except for, well, actually, maybe that's not true. The men of most species are the ones that always try to attract the females. So the females are usually just drab. And that's why all the men, human men, are good looking and women have to wear makeup to try to be as nice looking as men. Yes, they both wrote hybrid capitalism. But you can take apart they to be he and she wrote hybrid capitalism. So it would still be who. Hello, Sam Roman. That still would be who, not whom. It's like whom will play ball with me. Oh, that's he will play ball with me. I'm still working on the whom. With whom will I play ball? To whom it may concern. It may concern him or her, so to whom it may concern. Whom shall I ask next? Yes. Whom are you going to ask? It wouldn't be whom survived because he or she survived, and that would be with who. Shall we go back to the hint, people? The hint. Who, if you can answer it with he or she, it would be who. If you can answer it with him or her, it would be whom. And I should type in here. Should add one. Versus whose. Anyway, whose would be, should get rid of all that, but whose would be, if you can answer it with his or our, then you would use whose. Whose dog did you go out with? He whom the whose with the apostrophe is short for who is. Him's your daddy is the answer to your question. 369. Yes, whose money is in my wallet would be his money is in our wallet. Or our money is in my wallet. Your wallet. Okay, let me get this off of here. I know. It is confusing to learn English. Who, whom, whose. You're getting all confused. You're just going to say, hey, you. It really has to do with subjects, objects. Subject does the action. See how it like forms an S, like there you go, like an S. Wait, I'm curving back this way. Like an S, the letter S. Anyway, that's the subject, and then this is the object. Because the subject throws the ball, the object catches the ball. Who throws it? Whom catches? Who threw it to whom? You think Sarah's losing it? No, I'm not. I'm just backwards on my camera, so that's all. And whose is possessive? Word. All right, class is over. Now it's time for some trivia. That's actually be whose 248. I know, totally meta-nemesis. All right, now let me look up, when do you use that or which? The battle over which or that is one of the many people struggle to get right. If the sentence doesn't need the clause that, the word in the question is need the clause that, the word in the question is connecting. Use which. That would be who, 489. You're mad at Yada Telebenda? Why? What did she ever do to you? I think there is a bunch of preschoolers in here, Meta-Nemesis. Hello, Curious Dragon. What does that mean? Oh, that's okay, Super Dave. Woo-hoo. No, I'm just, I am relaxed tonight. But it's not because of why you think. I'm just usually relaxed.
Fireside Friday with Sarah and Dave. Yeah. Sign in if you want to have interaction with chat. Yeah. We want Dave. I'm here. Yeah, the fire has been nonstop. You know, the nice thing about it, there's not a stitch of energy burned. So tell me this isn't conservation of energy. Being somehow, we're creating energy out of thin air. It's amazing. Of course, it is burning energy on the lights on your TV or your monitor. Yeah. I'm not here for grammar study. That's Sarah's department. I can answer your questions, but I'm not here for that purpose.
Yes, don't worry about it. I already did my grammar for the night. It was a really good one.
Oh, who versus whom? Good.
Versus whose. Yeah.
Versus whose.
If you can answer it with he or she, use who. If you answer it with him or her, use whom.
There you go.
And if you can answer it with his or our, use whose, because whose is possessive.
That's right.
All right.
Last night the cat ate too fast, and I'm hoping she doesn't do that now, because she's, you know, prone to chucking up her entire dinner. She has this reactive stomach where she loves it so much, and she'll just eat it and then say, oh, and then just vomit it all up. She's ready for a nap. So you take a nap. We've got the room in the other room warmed. Enjoy. Keep it up. We're going to keep that heat up to 72 tonight. So enjoy your rest. I'll be in a while to watch a show with you.
Oh, God. Okay.
She really needs a break. Thank you for giving me a break. Appreciate it.
Okay.
She worked so hard. This is the end of the week for her. So she's going to take a night off. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. We're looking at possibly making our own cat food. Somebody told me lamb and rice it's really good combo for older cats. I'm thinking of cooking a lamb up and making some lamb rice for Amber and seeing if she'll eat it. But if I find it available, I'll get it. I met a couple ladies at Walmart the other day. They were telling me tips about feeding my kitty. Yeah, lamb and rice. Yeah. I don't know if it's GMO. I mean, what can I say? I mean, you can fight this as long as you can. We're losing the battle politically, so These people who are wanting to kill off the planet and stick glyphosate and herbicides on everybody, they're winning, in case you didn't know. Really? Well, she said lamb and rice is good for older kitties, so maybe no ice for cat, no rice for cat. Okay, then I'll take your, you got 8 felinology PhDs. Your opinion must really have some value. 5 gallons per inch of fish. Jeez, that's the rule. I'm glad that's there because I didn't really see it last week. Chris. Well, I've been getting Friskies, and I'm worried about that Chinese cat food that they say has altered meat in it that could kill the cat. And now we've got Chinese chicken, Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken, coming into America thanks to Trump. That's one of his orders I would revoke immediately. I mean, we have so many great chicken companies in America. Why would we import Chinese chicken? I don't get that. Similarly, why would China import U.S. rice unless it was given to them? I mean, they are major rice producers in China. Oh, she's watching a show in the other room. I can hear it. You know, there's a nice thing about living on a big piece of property. You can just blare your music out and nobody hears it. Whereas if you're living in an apartment, you know you have to keep it down. Nobody can... Everyone gets in your face. Well, I think we're reaching kind of a pinnacle point with Michael Flynn turning events. Guilty plea should make a big difference. Okay. And the CIA guy, that was a pretty interesting image that we had of a CIA guy claiming that he was the hitman who killed nearly 20 people, one of which was Bob Marley. This guy was on his deathbed, and he is openly saying that he is the perp that did it. So Scissorfight did not mute or purge the whole time. That's great. Well, people are very respectful of Sarah. You know, she doesn't go out on a limb to make statements that piss people off. I do. So I get a lot more... well, he could have been dangerous at one time. It could have been a mobster kind of guy, you know. I get a lot more play because of all the people that disagree with me. So there's a lot of people that will automatically come in here and just start, you know, hating on me. They don't do that with Sarah because she doesn't take on outrageous statements. Like she would never show you a picture of Michelle Obama's penis through the outline of her jumpsuit. That's not something she would ever talk about, too. And that angers a lot of Democrats that mindlessly voted for Barack Obama thinking that he wasn't gay. And to this day would refute that no, there's no way Obama's gay. Oh, let's be clear. When we had proof throughout the entire 8 years that he not only had gay lovers, he had more than 3 of them that ended up dying in 2007. Oh, but no, we don't want to talk about that. Or Larry Sinclair, who made this open statement in front of the press corps, where he paid $4,000 of his own money just to be there and talk to 100 press agents in D.C., and no one ever questioned Larry Sinclair after this.
Where Senator Obama exited the limousine with $250, which was provided to him by me. Returned a short while later with an 8-ball of cocaine, which he gave to me. I did ingest a couple of lines of cocaine, and shortly thereafter, Senator Obama produced a glass cylinder pipe and packet of crack cocaine from his pocket. Obama then smoked the crack cocaine. I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine. After which I had the driver take me to my hotel, the Comfort Suites, Gurnee, Illinois.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, somebody just said, do we have to watch this every effing night? Yeah, you do. You do. It's required. It's one of the requirements to be in here is to watch the Michelle dancing video where her jumpsuit depicts a flailing penis and testicle area. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It's important that you know that Barack is now openly talking about his love of his professor, because we have to start realizing what we're dealing with here. I don't care what kind of a penis Michael has. It's irrelevant to me. But you're no longer on planet Earth, you're on planet dumb, okay? Yeah. We don't ignore things that are so important that if we don't talk about them, we'll forget that we even had to talk about them ever in our lives. We have to repeat this for people. Otherwise, they won't know what the hell's going on. That's right. We have a misspelling here, folks. Hang on. There we go. Somebody corrected the spelling of my name, of the name dumb. Without researching this or going into any detail, we have a new spelling of the word planet dumb. In fact, I'm going to change it to planet. It's simple, stupid. That kind of thing. There we go. Planet dumb. So we're going to try to dumb things down for everybody so nobody has any confusion here. Make it as simple as possible. We found out that retard was too big of a word for most people in our chat room, except for the intellectuals.
You're doing so well on Sunday. What's his name? Dane Clark.
Oh, we got another Joan Rivers moment? Cool. I'll play that later. Yeah, I don't mean to be belittling with people who are suffering from mental retardation, but, you know, there are people that have similar symptoms that aren't suffering from retardation that want to be president or wanted to be president and couldn't quite make it. You're suffering. Well, some of you are so upset and feeling ashamed that you're probably, you know, going to try to sue me for harassment now. I'm not trying to harass you by simply talking to you on the show. All right. Down the throat, over the gum. What did that Croatian guy say? Serbidome. Yeah. The man who just dropped liquid poison in his mouth. Does anybody know? Last words of Croatian suicider. Okay, Croatian war criminal dies after swallowing.
The Rule 101C of the rules for the period he has already spent in detention. Mr. Praljak, you may be seated.
Okay, Slobodan Praljak is not a war criminal. I reject your judgment with contempt.
Stop, please.
That was the last thing he said.
Please sit down.
And he killed himself. Wow. And then we look at this guy for about 10 minutes while everyone kind of, you know, ignores the guy while he's dying. And last week we revealed that Kim Jong-nam, the stepbrother or half-brother of Kim Jong-un, who died recently from the attack, he had like multiple doses of the anti-phylactic thing that stops any type of a reaction. He actually had them on board. They didn't get it to him, though. It didn't save him. They could have. Kim Jong-nam could have been alive if he'd only reached into his pouch and given himself an injection, but he didn't do that. Well, it wasn't my goal to show you guys killing himself, but he did really reject the plea. Now, this guy was a proven a war criminal who was asking for a stay of the sentence so that he could get released to be with his family as he got older and sicker. But That's the thing about killing people, is not a lot of people have sympathy for you after you do that. You're kind of hard to get friends out there. Oh yeah, we're here to help the poor war criminal who just is suffering so much. Oh. And when we find out how many war crimes Donald Trump has committed, he'll probably be in the same situation. I don't know. I mean, he killed 31 people 8 days into his presidency, and he didn't even blink. And there was no target there. People said that he had bad intel from his military advisors, and he went ahead and attacked 31 people in Yemen unnecessarily, killing an 8-year-old girl. Fireworks and mass hugs as North Korea celebrates becoming a nuclear nation. Well, look at that. And they're celebrating their big moment in the sky, being a nuclear nation. Citizens of Pyongyang took to the streets in celebration to mark the successful launch of North Korea's new intercontinental ballistic missile. Well, isn't that special? Oh, God. And all because Trump just keeps pushing the envelope. We can't get these people to the table. We can't talk to them. We're just going to continually threaten and we'll take them out in 6 months. Yeah, let's not forget the 100,000 Iraqi civilians that George W. Bush put together with the Iraq War. Good point. Well, I don't know. Kim Jong-un is a heck of a breakdancer. I mean, this guy can breakdance like no other in the world. He's been seen as the preeminent all-time breakdancer in human history. Here he is dancing in front of a group of young men in North Korea. It's hard to get a picture of his face. Yeah, do you think this is a real guy or an imposter or something? Yeah, it's pretty amazing feat, I must tell you. Even for a guy 5'10" with 180 IQ, he just keeps doing it. Okay, so the illustrious supreme leader of North Korea is allegedly one of the greatest breakdancers on earth. Yeah. 3190 claimed Kim had a large IQ. It's been noted that 3190 made that comment in chat on December 1st, 2017. We date stamped it, and it is logged in the record of history. Everything we do here is being recorded by the NSA. You bought a banjo? No, I'm kidding. What about a ukulele? Mad Dog wants a $1,500 violin, but he hasn't sold his Bitcoins yet to cash in on it. Does anybody need the fix on the Mac operating system High Sierra root bug to stop hackers? Well, if you need it, here it is. There it is. That's the way to fix that. Apparently their viruses are attacking Macs. Yeah, and Mueller's swift moves signaled mounting legal peril for the White House. That's the top story tonight. Aside from our chat. Fake Mac world. Yeah, so it's pretty ominous news for a Friday night. I'm amazed the stock market didn't tumble. What did the Dow Jones do? Down 40 points to 24,231, but a banner week for the entire Dow Jones. Responding well to Trump being our president, because everyone who's greedy seems to like him. He's good for greed. Trump is good for greed, that's for sure. He really caters to the greedy people. And he's the king of debt, so he's bound to put us deeper into debt. Here's an inmate who headbutts a convicted pedophile while handcuffed in court. Let's take it. This is from ABC's David Muir. World Star has a copy of it. Come on, Dave. Nope, that's not it. There it is. Wow, so they're just trying to kill. He's willing to use his head to hit the guy. That's some serious dedication. Wow. Thanks. Oh, Trump's going to drain the swamp. Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, I believe that. I would not eat. Well, you know, my problem is I did eat too much acidic fruit. At one point, I was eating 10 pounds of oranges a week. And I lost some of my enamel in my teeth. So I have to, you know, always realize that 50% of my enamel's gone because I ate healthy. Trump is this. It's not the swamp anymore. It's now the snake pit. I'm no longer calling it a swamp. Well, I think I'm warming up. I'm going to retire of the fire and back in space. Yeah, I have veneers on my uppers, but if I take them off, I can show you my teeth are slightly yellow. Like my lowers. All right. Now we got personal. There's been kind of a pause in the in news in general. It seems like things kind of came to a grinding halt with all these accusations until whammo. Mel Gibson makes the ultimate statement and tells the world that something I think we all have to hear, and many people have just shunned the idea, but Hollywood studios are drenched in the blood of innocent children, he says. Baby blood is so popular in Hollywood that it basically operates as a currency of its own. That's got to be the most intense story of all. It's tabloid. You don't think he said it? You think it's all made up? Okay, let's see if we get another story about that. We need at least a couple stories to verify it. Well, I mean, the story is very true. We heard about Abramovich and the spirit cooking about a year ago, and nobody really, you know, wanted to hear more about it because it's so disgusting. And the care system isn't far behind that statement. You're right. The neglect of children. Nearly 1,000 kids a year die under the auspices of CPS protection, Child Protective Services. And Pizzagate swept under the rug. So if Mel Gibson really is saying something like that, I applaud him. Yay! Yes.
Certainly.
Absolutely. All right. Hi, Eddie. Eddie's here. Yeah, well, Mel has his own future. You know, he's got the Passion 2 script he's working on. They're going to go into production soon. He's looking for another cool $600 million talking about Jesus. So he's got his own agenda. I mean, how many people make money on Jesus every year? He's just one of the many, he thinks. Just one of the many people. At least he's offering a product, a beautiful movie to talk about the Passion. I never saw the Passion, but I heard it was a pretty powerful movie. They said that they embellished a little bit. And they actually put an image of Satan in a crowd. They didn't really have any text to validate the satanic image. The Jesus? No. It's a very long and sad movie, Dave. Yeah. Well, Passion 2 is bound to make another $600 million for him. Most of the money that he actually made went to his palimony and his divorce suit. His wife got him for a couple $100 million, and his palimony suit, I think, was $166 million. So he got really hit hard. I mean, this guy's still floating, making movies. It's amazing. He's a pretty strong actor, and he certainly has a strong will, and every reason to believe that he said these statements, they're quotes. Yeah, I don't see the references at the bottom. Baxter Dimitri is a writer at your Newswire. He covers politics, business. You could contact him. So, you know, if you want to contact him, go for it to validate the story. Ah, he was married to his wife for like 30 years and 7 kids. Yeah. Really? Mel and Danny are going to do Lethal Weapon, whatever? Cool. Well, I can tell you that the new set of veneers should, by the time I become president, which should cost you about $200. These things are way overpriced. These were like $600, these uppers. And they were normally $750. That was a deal. Yeah, that CIA deathbed confession, that was a good one too. Okay, I guess we have time for a little music to get the next hour going. We'll kick it off with my song that I created, Mr. Right. Let's do it. It's about time. Okay, I was talking briefly about the mobile medical units that we have for people who are in desperate need. We have them around our country right now, so why not make more of them? And this was a concept that our country has never really taken on in a big way. I think these kind of things could be absolute bypasses to our existing cost of healthcare. Without these types of things, we wouldn't be able to deal with major disasters. So I think putting our money in this area is a lot better than throwing it into the hands of clinics that are ripping people off by asking everybody for a sleep study. Would you like a sleep study, honey? Have you had any problems breathing? Well, we have $3,000 allocated for your sleep study. The government will pay us for that. That's not my right. It's my right version, man. No, I created Mr. Right. Don't be messing with my song, man. That's my song. You're trying to claim ownership of my song now? How dare you? How dare you? You dirty rat. Hey, how about weed being sold at the back of the mobile medical unit? Isn't that a cool idea where we can finance a lot of the operations with medical marijuana in the back of each mobile medical unit? So yeah, Weed the People is born, and I will legalize marijuana when I become president. There won't be any interdiction by the DEA in marijuana, but we will continue work with anti-methamphetamines, anti-cocaine, and anti-heroin. And I'm going to step it up and make sure we don't have a lot of cheap heroin coming into this country by pulling our troops out of Afghanistan. Thank you very much. Yay! Yeah, I've smoked a couple doobies in my life, yeah. I'm sorry, we're not allowed to play the blackface video due to Mark Vaughn's restrictions on the show. He specifically said not to play the blackface video on his show, so I'm honoring his requirement, and I don't want to in any way upset him because he makes too much money censoring me. All I can tell you is I don't think we're going to be increasing the heroin flow into the country. We're going to see legalization of marijuana and a gradual leaving of the opioid addictions behind. The goal is to help people get off of opioids. And we're seeing some progress there. People who have access to recreational marijuana, all these concentrated forms of THC, are actually getting benefits and going off of opioids. Pretty cool. Contrary to what Jeff Sessions and Donald Trump think. I think we should give Donald Trump a plaque to take home with him when he goes back to his estate and tries to recoup his losses. Because I understand he's losing nearly $1 billion being president. He's on his way to losing $1 billion. And believe me, that wasn't by choice. He thought that he was going to make money in the presidency. Well, I'm going to try to make some deals and sell some condos in Miami. And yeah, that didn't work out too well, especially with the Russian thing happening. A lot of his Russian connections, I don't think, are buying. They didn't buy Kushner's 666 Fifth Avenue building, the Kushner building. He was expecting to sell that, you know. Jared Kushner contacted Kislyak himself, made a phone call, and asked to have a private channel with the Kremlin to talk to a Russian oligarch to buy that building. That's the guy that was sitting next to the president for the past year. And now at least John Lewis is, thank you, trying to distance himself from the whole thing. Kelly, excuse me, John Kelly, thank you. I don't know where that Lewis came from. Jeez. Come on, Dave. He's had too many chiefs of staff change-ups. Thank you. We've got something coming in the show here. Okay, here's a perfect example of a person who really needs press-on veneers. Now, if you're suffering from Mountain Dew-itis, this is the perfect kind of mouth that would be perfect for what I'm wearing right now. See that? Now that would be a serious loss of Mountain Dew will do that. By the time you're 25, you could lose your teeth. Yeah, meth or Mountain Dew, either one. You see, the press-on veneers make a big difference. I know. It really pushes the smile out there, you know. I was going to bleach my teeth, but they said, no, don't do that. I still have my teeth. I'm good. My chewing teeth. But I did not want to bleach my teeth because I had 50% enamel loss. Okay, you got some tendon soup you want to make? 10 meals for 63 cents? I can beat that. I can make toothpick floats. 20 meals for free. That's right. No cost whatsoever. You can pick up toothpicks at most restaurants at the front lobby and then put them in water and you get a toothpick float. Well, I'm glad you're hanging out with your teeth. I'm glad for you, but you're probably much younger than I am. By the time I was 38, I was of the belief I'd never had a cavity. And I went to a dentist and he said, you got like 7 cavities. I said, what? Huh? No. He had to convince me I had cavities. And then after $4,000, 3 root canals included in that price, and various fillings, here I am. And press-on veneers. Actually, that's $4,600. Really? Probably old enough to be my son, yeah. And a partridge in a pear tree. Tooth. All right, I guess we're done here. I didn't want to reach stagnant points in our show, but when the news is stagnant, you know things are getting weird. Yep. McConnell says the Senate has the votes to pass the GOP tax bill, so that's a good news for Mr. Trump and all of his rich cohorts that want to pad their pockets. Nothing in the news. It's crazy. Yeah. A Waffle House visitor finds employee asleep, cooks his own meal. No, that's not even that interesting. A woman who delivered for Amazon takes a crap in front of her home, somebody's home.
Holiday season.
Let's see if we have the footage.
An Amazon driver made a delivery no person wanted to see or smell. Tuesday, Nemi Batista found feces in front of his South Sacramento County home, and his security cameras caught the driver with her pants down going to the bathroom. Batista wrote to Amazon on Facebook asking the company, "Why is your driver squatting in front of my house? Let me give you a hint. He or she is not tying their shoes. I have it on video."
Oh my gosh.
Quality control is not very good. We need some shit drones. That's right.
Really?
We showed the video to this neighbor who was shocked to see a driver defecating.
It's definitely disturbing. You think about like kids on the street and stuff. Everybody's got kids at home.
Neighbors say it's gross, but it's also concerning. Batista worries about the customers who came after him.
We don't want to be the one cleaning it up. And
Him? I thought it was a her.
Okay,
are we safe to say that it was a transgender that defecated?
Batista's
Let's be in deference to all the transgenders out there. Let's not accuse the driver of having any particular gender type, okay? Now, every one of these mobile medical units will be equipped with a bathroom facility. So none of the employees will step out of the mobile medical unit, down the stairs, and take a dump next to you. I guarantee that. Yeah, and the front door will be for the dentistry. When you happen to have fillings or any kind of a removal of a tooth, $50. And that'll be basically $20 more than your $30 copay. Just to get in the door, you need $30 copay. But no, I can't offer free veneers for that price. But we're hoping to get the price of veneers down to $200, being the infrastructure can't be that hard to replicate. I mean, I wouldn't doubt we're going to be able to make you veneers on your way out the door. It'll be like hit a button and take a picture of your mouth, have you press on it, and it'll probably pop you out a veneer. Well, your copay is $3 now, but your Medicaid costs are costing the state $150 a visit. Whereas this is a $30 visit. You won't have to pay anything if you have a copay of $3 right now. It'll be covered under Medicaid. Nope, you can't vote for me now. But there's a good chance you may not remember who I am in the next 3 or 4 months. Because they're slowly dumping chemicals on our heads to make us dumb. So, Planet Dumb is taking over. So you may not remember who I am in about 2 or 3 months. All right. Don't worry. I'm so glad I was able to see that.
Someone from Amazon did come to clean up the fee house. Let me give you a hint. Security cameras caught the deliveries at home of his South house. Let me give you a
Really?
It's not tying their he or she is.
Okay, let me see this again. I just cannot believe that this looks like a woman to me, not a dude. It doesn't look like a dude.
Is not tying their shoes. I have it on video.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a woman. I had a very positive childhood, Barker. Yeah. First 5 years of my life were great. Then I became an adult. I became an adult at right around the age of 3. By the time I was 5, I was already getting to middle age. Is anything that's a joke? I'm telling you the truth. I was technically legally an adult mentally at the age of 3. No, at the age of 7, they told me I had the mind of an 18-year-old. So I probably got close to adulthood at the age of 5. Here is Donald Trump with his closest ally and friend, the king of Saudi Arabia, anointing him with a powerful headdress, making him an official Muslim, now ingratiated by the people of Saudi Arabia as a true Wahhabi. Okay, they've got an impeachment vote coming up this week. Dark Engine has the story. Congressman promises...
Mr. Speaker, I rise
I rise
because I love my country.
Because I love my country.
I rise, Mr. Speaker, because...
I rise, Mr. Speaker, because... Notice how everybody wants to be, Martin Luther King?
I refuse to stand idly by as a billionaire bigot does irreparable harm to my country. A billionaire bigot who tolerates the KKK but won't tolerate Islam. A billionaire bigot who tolerates anti-Semitism, racism, sexism, ethnocentrism, xenophobia, and homophobia. Mr. Speaker, I don't know what the consequences will be, but I do know this. The people who sent me here sent me to this Congress to fight hate, not to tolerate, not to mitigate, but to eliminate hate. The people I represent have an expectation of me. Mr. Speaker, I don't know what the vote will be, but I do know this. Next week, there will be a vote to impeach. Next week, there will be a resolution brought before the Congress, and there will be a vote to either table it, to send it to committee, or to vote it up and down. That's what the people I represent expect me to do, and I will do no less. I yield back the balance of my time.
Say hallelujah. Thank you, brethren. Thank you so much. Bless him, for he has spoken. Yes, he has definitely made a good point. More and more people are very concerned about Trump and are willing to impeach. Now, I believe in freedom of speech myself. I believe that freedom of impeachment is also important, and freedom of speech is good too. But freedom of the peach is really, really the best, because I like peaches. I think they're tasty. One of my favorite fruits of all time is peach. Okay, any other questions? Feel free to resort back to Planet Dumb, where most of us just sit back and watch as our leaders allow Dow Chemical to recklessly spray pesticides and herbicides across the landscape, killing off the little baby vegetables and little baby plants and little baby critters and insects. So I think Planet Dumb is a perfect name for our country and our world that we live in. You're finally home. Welcome to Planet Dumb, everybody. We realize that we are powerless to do anything, so let's just talk about how dumb we are. I like a little hair on my peach, yeah. And my freedom of speech is extremely important. Political correctness has ruled out this freedom of speech thing, so we're not really that interested anymore in freedom of speech. We just want freedom of our peach. Say hallelujah. Well, I'm glad that this man spoke out. I believe that this man may be on to something. Judge again tells felons to behave because Trump could use your vote. Wow. Holy moly. This government's all screwed up. They want the prisoners to behave so they could vote for Trump when they get out. A Clark County judge has again suggested that felons who meet probation requirements would be able to cast a ballot for Donald Trump in the 2020 election, and the Republican president could use your vote. Wow. You know, if Donald Trump is not indicted and put on trial for crimes like obstruction of justice, fraud, violating the Logan Act, and possibly taking bribes, I don't know what the heck we're going to do. I mean, he's going to sit there until he wants to run again, and we'll have to figure this one out. Spell it right, Dave. Planet Dumb. Okay, sorry. We had a correction on Planet Dumb. Somebody felt that he was educated and could come up with a better spelling, so we're going to go with Planet Dumb, because none of us are smart enough to get an actual dictionary out. Okay, thank you. Welcome to Planet Dumb. In this corner, the billionaire bigot And in the other corner, Rocket Man. I have not found out about anything. I just finished watching the new episodes of Longmire. Really good show. If you haven't seen Longmire, it's about an American Wyoming sheriff who faces detective work out there in the field. I enjoyed it. Had a good time watching it. Damn good movie. Okay, a retiree aged 70 made ricin and tested it on his neighbors, according to federal officers. Yeah, so some people are just, you know, they don't know what to do with their time, and they're chemical engineers, and they just want to make ricin. A 70-year-old retiree in Vermont made ricin and tested the deadly toxin on a retirement home. Put it in the beverages and food. Betty Schmiller of Shelburne told FBI agents she wanted to test the poison's effectiveness on other residents at the Wake Robin Senior Living Facility before using it on herself. My God. What the hell? She manufactured 2 to 3 tablespoons of the powder and placed it in multiple services of the food and beverages. She added the found the instructions online. Oh my goodness. She was charged with processing a biological weapon, but no residents reported symptoms consistent with ricin. So, wow. You know, I saw something at a retirement home about 2 years ago that shocked the hell out of me, and I reported it to the health worker, the social worker there, and they didn't even take the case. They wouldn't even write it up as an actual crime. And there's no 800 number to report abuse at nursing homes. I was sitting with somebody that I know, and they said, "This gravy smells horrible. I don't want the gravy." And I said, "What could be wrong with the gravy?" So I put my finger in the gravy boat and smelled it, and it was shit. So I found out that if they put diarrhea, you know, from one container into the gravy, Grandma and Grandpa can stay in the hospital. I'm serious. Grandma and Grandpa can stay in the hospital on kidney dialysis, and the hospital, the nursing home, makes tons of money. Yeah, that wasn't gravy. That was diarrhea. I know. I couldn't get the smell out of, and I didn't smell. I rinsed my hands off. I also took a sample of it. No. And I still have the sample in my portable freezer in lockup. Yeah, I put my finger in it thinking it was gravy, and I smelled it. It was, you know, diarrhea. It made you sick just thinking about it. I know. Well, I went to the social worker and I said, "This is what happened." And she said, I don't believe that. She's required to fill out a report, and she didn't do that. So I minimized the entire event. I said, you know, I'm going to contact the director of the hospital. I called him up and told him about it. He said, "That's impossible. I deny that. You're making this up." Well, I still have the sample. I always tested for E. coli. Just cost $400 to do that, though. I'm not going to get my microscope out and look for E. coli. Well, don't eat old gravy. Let that be a warning to all the people. If you're going to get something at a nursing home, don't eat the gravy. Have a potato, like a baked potato with butter in it. That's the way to do it. Don't get the mashed potatoes and the gravy at the nursing home. It could have anything. I'm telling you. I really believe they're trying to cause kidney problems in all the patients. So they're all hooked up to some kidney dialysis machine. Well, there are no places to report this stuff. That's the thing. In the old days, 20 years ago, there were 800 numbers you could call up nursing home abuse. But now it's elder abuse hotline, and they don't exist. There is no elder abuse hotline. You got to call the police, and then you have to go through a hierarchy. It don't get no better than that. It don't get better at all. In fact, it's getting worse. Take It Easy. The Eagles. That's a good song. Take it easy. Okay, we'll do that later. All right, sorry for the noise. Do you think Sarah will put in a home? I don't know. Does she want? She likes staying in her home. I'm not getting older. I'm getting younger. Well, I've looked at myself over the past 8 years, and I've noticed that I'm actually getting younger. I don't understand it. I can't explain it. Maybe it's just one of those biological things that happens to some people with superior genes. I don't know. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
Hi. Good morning. As you can see, I'm still wearing the shirt I wore last night and yesterday at Blog TV. It's exhilarating to do Blog TV. We've been having an incredible time. This is in fact day 54. I thought yesterday was day 54, but we did a recount, and we determined that today is day 54 as we approach the election. And as your potential write-in candidate, David John Sponheim, I'm here to show you my
this is 2008, you know, so here I am still doing the show. Yeah, I have a hybrid car. It's pretty cool. They're collector's items. They're 16 years old now. I was a little skinnier then. I agree. I picked up about 10 pounds. What if the real dead is Dave? Dave is dead, though. You are a robot? That's ridiculous. I don't sound like a robot. Show the whole video and nothing but the video, so help you video. I know. The veneers help me look a little younger. You're right. Here we go.
Hi. Good morning. As you can see, I'm still wearing last night and yesterday time. This is in fact day 54. Write-in candidate David John Sponheim. I'm here to show you my hybrid electric vehicle. It's not a plug-in hybrid. That's something I want to build at the U.S. Auto Corporation that I want you, the people, to own. Check out this vehicle. Isn't that a beautiful car? Everywhere we go, we get looks. One of the reasons people look at us is we get about 60 miles per gallon, which is really nice. We've been across the country a few times campaigning, and this vehicle is truly a dream to drive. It's a little bit tough on the bumps because those tires are high pressure, just to make sure that it goes as far as it can on that gallon of gas. Anyway, enjoy the show. We're going to be having a show every day, Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. on Blog TV, and I'm going to be talking about issues from renewable energy to getting out of Iraq. Thanks for listening, and don't miss our show. Thanks a lot.
Okay, yeah, that was back then in 2008. Long time ago. We were just starting our show then. Okay, here we go. Deputy shoots ex-girlfriend, kills himself while on duty. Boynton cop shoots ex-girlfriend. This is really beyond belief. Let's take a look. I'm not sure what to see. I hope I don't see anybody getting shot. We wouldn't want that. We want to keep the minimal violence in the show tonight. Of course, we will play a lot of violence later. It's not playing. It's got a mind of its own. I'm sorry, this video may be disturbing to some viewers. Okay, he's going to shoot her. I don't want to watch this. Thank you, though. I don't like to increase the violence levels here. Do you enjoy wonton, Dave? I prefer 2 tons myself. 1 is never enough. Whenever ordering food, I try to get 2 tons of food. 1 ton of hierro. 1 ton of hierro. What is hierro exactly? Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 1 ton of hierro. Yeah, I would say that, yeah, I try to avoid making comments that are too intelligent tonight. Let's see what we have here.
Either way, regardless, though, if you're trying to...
This is not cool. I do not want to watch Bish's friend. Okay? That's just not cool. 1 ton of hierro. Ay, 1 ton of hierro. So I think it's okay for grandma to be smoking a bowl, you know? I know, it's ridiculous. It's like, I can't even begin to think of what I'm going to talk about the next 30 minutes. I'm forced into this reality. It's a forced place to exist. Do I wear novelty teeth in public? Yes, I do. I try to. I like to see people look at my teeth and go, are those fake? And they stare at my teeth and going, are you wearing fake teeth? Because that's like, I can read their minds. That's all they're thinking about. Well, you're suffering from 962's got a lag when he's downloading porn and watching our show. Well, you're suffering from a what is called coin hive attack. Oh, it's going down in price to $449. Oh, you're going for a guitar now. You gave up on the violin. Now you're wanting to get a guitar for Christmas. Yeah, so Meow TV gave us a link to install an extension onto Chrome. But we don't have it here, so I don't know what happened to it. Well, I don't do I do real when you strictly abba jabba the mo case. Yes, we've had physical proof of censorship. Right here, Dano made a perfectly good video describing what he encounters when he comes into our room. Check it out.
Okay, guys, see right here? This is me trying to load ATP show, and it won't load, but it will load commercials. Why is that? Is Dave really being censored? I think so, because the chat will not load. The chat will not load. Only the ads will load. The picture will not load. Obviously, that leads me to believe that Dave is being censored. And you see right there? It's an unsecure site now for some reason. Mark evidently is not paying the standard courier fee to have it secured. So, yeah, here's some hardcore evidence that it will not load.
Yeah, so there you have it. And we got another thing for our lineup tonight from One Pacific Redwood. More low-pressure systems off California blocked. Microwave transmitter targets this area, creating a constant dehydration zone in California.
Today is December the 1st, 2017. This is a quick update. And we're showing the western U.S. water vapor loop. Today's skies are very clear in all directions. Yesterday we had very heavy chemtrail spraying, and the day before, the 2 days prior, we had very heavy chemtrail spraying as well. Okay, so...
okay, this is an ongoing thing going on in California right now, and we'll play that later tonight. Trump could use your vote if you're a felon in Nevada. What a joke. God, I just can't believe this. Soliciting. The moisture terrorists. It's weather warfare is what it is, 7511. Okay, well, if you want to see what Bish looks like, why don't you just go there, you know? Here she is. See what I mean? I can't even, the F word was used. I can't play this. Drink them now? No. Chocolate milk could cost you a reaction. You could get diabetes if you eat too much sugar. Plus, remember, chocolate milk has GMO corn syrup in it. Well, let's be clear. Lord Rothschild says the sky was too blue today. Really?
Well, Lord Rothschild must have woke up, rolled out of his coffin today and said, "Sky's a little bit too fucking blue. Send out the planes." Right? Look at this shit over here. Look over here by the sun. Look
wow.
At this shit.
Holy moly.
Look at all these fucking tracks.
Unbelievable. This is disgusting. They're literally poisoning our atmosphere.
Rothschild is pleased. He is very pleased today.
Lord Rothschild is getting white skies as ordered by his team of chemtrail people. All right. Well, that's depressing. That's exciting and depressing. There we go. Oh, come on. Those aren't edited videos together with lines in the sky, dude. Give it up. Your contrail argument is no longer valid. You have been ruled out of commission. Chemtrails are happening. Just face it. God, you people are in such denial. It's unbelievable. I can't believe how much denial you're living in. It's like you still believe there's no chemtrails up there and they're poisoning you like a bunch of insects. No, that's just a bunch of whack jobs that say it's chemtrails. Jeez. Can't believe you even cling to that argument. Here he is with some of his Wahhabi Islamic brothers. Trump is holding the ceremonial knife that many of the Muslims hold in this candid pose with some of his Muslim brothers. And here you thought he didn't like Muslims. Boy, he's really rewriting his image, isn't he? That was back during his time when he had a festive moment and lured in all that money from Saudi Arabia. Dave, I've been trying for 3 hours to get in, keep getting VIP error. Now you know why we're getting censored. Yes, everybody's doing this. I'm so sorry that's happening. You guys must know that we have an alternative chat room. Yeah, it's called the C box right over here. You can type in it at America's Third Party. So I can see your messages, yes. But you can get to the C box and make any statement you want over there if you can't get into our regular chat room, and I can still see it. Yeah, nothing to worry about. We got alternatives for you. We've also got YouTube. No, she would never. Okay, and then we've got You Now. YouTube, You Now. Those you have to sign into, though. So somebody deleted, Mark deleted your statement. Wow. Now, I don't think you can really say that about Trump. Do you know for a fact he's into that type of stuff? Because I have no knowledge of Trump other than him declaring that he liked to grab women by the beep beep, and now he's claiming he doesn't do that. He never did it, and it's all a lie. Now he's claiming that videotape he made with Billy Bush was fake news. Can you believe this? Now, everything that we saw him say at that bus, he said was made up. Would you agree, Hillary? Yep, I think she agrees. Yep, see? Everything is made up, isn't it? Oh, yeah. I would not be able to take on Mr. Putin because he is a different class of martial artist. Mr. Putin is 6th level black belt in judo. I am merely mixed martial artist expert. I do believe Trump is mentally unfit to be president, yes. I knew it when he stole over 10 of my ideas and thought he could get away with it. Watch the strings. Look at the bouncing ball. Bravo. Good job, dude. What are we looking at exactly? Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Did I see strings there or what? All right. It's a CGI mic. Thank you. It was a CGI mic, everybody. That explains it. Yeah. They just had to paint it in to make it look like it was floating. The deception continues. Well, this photograph is an authentic photograph of an older woman smoking a bong. There's no CGI. This is an absolute event that happened at one point in time and space. These women decided to see what it was like to smoke marijuana and see what the effect was. So. Well, that really did happen. We have photographs of it. I don't think Lance Armstrong ever did land on the moon. I'm not even sure he had a testicle removed. And he definitely did not win 7 Tour de France's. He had to remove his title. Okay, more Bish.
Can save your life.
My dog is
because
part of
you're hot.
My dog is part of mafia, and you're all her fucking workers.
These women, they go online, they start F-wording this and F-wording that, and that. You guys watch that. Oh, that's kind of funny. It's fun for you to have fun. Video editing is possible within anything I show, yes. But the fact is NASA's been doing the video editing. That's our point, ding-a-ling. I don't know. I can't tell you what's going on here. Take back your power. Notice of liability. HARP. Is your Wi-Fi really off?
Hi, everybody. It is December 1, 2017. I'm going to be recommending some videos for you to watch. I will be reading some of a comment that I received, a very important comment regarding Wi-Fi, but I'm going to start with playing this trailer. If you have not seen the documentary Take Back Your Power, click on the link below and watch the full documentary. This is the trailer.
Under my plan of a cap and trade system, the electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket.
Dozens and dozens of people who are reporting some really huge billing spikes, in one case over 1,000%.
The so-called smart grid that is as vulnerable as what we've got is not smart at all. It's a really, really stupid one.
You've got massive data storage areas.
You know, James Woolsey is, I had a chance to meet him at a conference at Microsoft's Beyond Oil exhibit. James Woolsey, the former CIA director, he's probably one of the most outspoken guys out there about the task of the CIA and what they've been doing. So it's interesting to see him speak on this issue. There are good people in our government that actually care, believe it or not. So this is Take Back the Power trailer. We'll play that a little bit later too. Good. Yeah, so she has the video too. She's going to comment about it. Great. This came in at the beginning of our show. I didn't want anyone to ignore it. It's seemingly another trail of Podesta chatting back with people on Twitter, back and forth on issues of Pizzagate. This is something that was copied by Charles Ortel. Says everybody knows that debunked is code for I'm guilty as hell, but also quite powerful even now. So stop pestering me with your questions. So at Real Donald Trump ask using So we're not really sure what this is, and I'd be glad to send it to you for deciphering. But a lot of people are talking about all the allegations still about Pizzagate that need to be looked into, and Trump has not done enough to expose this. That's a Twitter. All right, let's move on. All right, thank you. You would love to send David a gift to show support, but he's always rude. Yeah, I know. You don't have to send me gifts, please. Everything that comes in the mail has to be screened, so I can't really get a lot of gifts. but thanks. That's why I'm rude, so that you don't send me gifts in the mail. Yeah, I don't really want gifts, but thank you. No, I don't have an unhealthy obsession with Trump. Trump is an unhealthy president and he's in our way. He's taking up time. He's wasting space in the Oval Office. No more gravy, thanks. I had enough diarrhea for the day. I think that Bodyguard was better than Dances with Wolves because, for one, I didn't even watch the whole Dances with Wolves. It was way too long. And I think Bodyguard showed his acting capability. What video player do you use? I use, a thing called VLC Media, which handles any video whatsoever. If you ever have any worry about playing a video, VLC Media Player comes bundled with its drivers. Oh, okay. Boston Unibombing, let's see what's going on. The Boston Unbombing, how and why the Boston Marathon bombing was staged. False flag event, excellent. I really think we need to revisit this. That's a good video to play tonight. Thank you. Because Tsarnaev Dzhokhar is definitely not guilty, yet they found him guilty and he's going to serve, go to the gas chamber. And I don't think he was ever guilty. I think his whole trial was mishandled. This is part 3 of 14, so this should be an interesting little venue going into the darkness.
For almost 2 years after the unbombing, this footage was unseen by the public, thus escaping the initial flurry of scrutiny and investigation in the weeks and months after the event. The fact that such blatant evidence of fraud was ever released at all is a testament to man's perennial hubris.
I like that. Well put. Man's perennial pride problem, hubris. That we don't even want to question things that were put in front of us by the media. And all this false flaggery continues to pop in front of our face, forcing us to think that, oh, all these terrible things are happening. We need to have gun control. Oh, yes. Ooh. Oh, and start wars overseas to stop the terror. Ooh. All right, moving on. No, I don't have Toxic Rainbow Sprinkler videos. Sorry. My gaming streams don't exist anymore because I was kicked off, IP banned from Twitch. They knocked me off Twitch. They IP banned me because I said I was not gay. They claimed that was a... That was Pat from Saturday Night Live. I'm Pat. Ooh. Yeah, that was Pat. It does sound very similar though. I don't like Jeff Bezos. I don't care if he doesn't like me, but I don't like him. I believe he's too greedy. No, I've never done anything like showing my body part ever. But it is interesting to note that I said I was not gay, and they said, oh, well, you seem to be. And I said, that's sexual harassment. And they said, oh, well, now you're a homophobe. And then they banned me.
I definitely think that racism is involved with Russia and Trump. I just don't know why racism is involved, but I do believe it's involved. I talked to Rosalind, and we had a wonderful peanut pie in honor of Russia and Putin.
I don't grab my crotch when I dance on camera because it's considered inappropriate for a presidential candidate to flaunt his rather big crotch. Yeah, I don't want to make a big thing of it, so I kind of, minimize the, the crotch shots. Oh, I want her to. Yes. All these lies, if she doesn't release these videos right away, then we're going to assume that she's lying and still stalking me. Yeah, I never showed my penis on camera to her or anyone else. So all these stories are complete slander and stalking behavior. So we're recording it as such, including you, Baghead. You're included in the stalking charge. Okay, hello from King County Jail. Busted for 3 times over the speed limit. Wow. So you just got out of King County Jail, having been busted? They bail you out or something? I'm not in King County, man. I don't belong to a motorcycle gang. You know, I'm not a motorcyclist. The mozzarella penguins. That's an exciting little piece. Yeah. Dave, is Jesse Ventura an American hero? Yes, he is. Like when he interviewed Alex Jones, you know, they talked about, you know, remember the story he had on True TV, conspiracy theory? Remember when he was talking to Alex Jones? Why would they kill people? Well, Governor, they're trying to get rid of anybody who is questioning anything. Why would they do that? Well, because anyone who knows about the secret societies are going to be targeted by these people. They're going to take you out. They want you, Governor. Why would they want me? It was a great interview. Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura. I'm a one number, and I'm not a 1%er, no. I'm a 0.001%er. I'm beyond the 1%. I'm in a realm all my own. I don't even think in terms of money. That's how elite I am. I don't even factor money into any of my daily activities, except when I buy milk and cheese and beans and rice that I live on. And my tacos are very good. I do not look like Robert Mugabe. That's just not true. How, you know, you mean you're saying my blackface looks like Robert Mugabe? All right, well, let's compare my face to Robert Mugabe's face. And he's right now going through a transition of power, as you know. And aside from not trimming his nose hairs, I assure you, I do not look a bit like Robert Mugabe. Hang on. No. I don't look a bit like Robert Mugabe. That's ridiculous. How can you say such things? All right, thank you. I am a middle-aged white version of Mugabe. That's really very disturbing that you'd say such a thing. I have more physical stamina and power in my upper body torso than 9 or 10 of you humans. Doot, doot, doot. I am 57 years old. My particular ergonomic package was designed at Lawrence Livermore Laboratories to withstand at least 500 years of human-type atmospheres. Yeah, I'm 2 years older than your mom, huh? Is she pretty cute? That's cool. Nice having a cute mom, huh? I know, I could tell. You were saying that she's 2 years younger than me. Your mom is 38. Well, yeah, there you go. I was 38 once. Who is this Enzyte Bob you speak of? You're saying I look like Enzyte Bob. He was arrested for promoting a program that was completely illegal. Now you're saying I look like Enzyte Bob. Let's take a look and do a facial comparison. Hold, please. Beep. We are now comparing Enzyte Bob to David Sponheim. The cyborg was created by Sarah in a laboratory. Hold, please. I have never committed a crime whatsoever in my life. I'm not a felon. Enzyte Bob is. Yeah, he was arrested for falsely promoting Viagra or something. I'm not sure what he was. Enzyte. All right, hold please. We are now processing the hate. Slander is being interpreted currently at this moment. Beep. Beep. I do the beep thing to make it sound more like a robot. Beep. Beep. Defragmentation is in process. Beep. Hold, please. 1 moment, please. Okay. Yeah, slanders, you can get the hell out of here. Get the heck out of Dodge. This is the time of night when I realize that the end of my live show is coming to an end, so I get a little giddy. You'll have to excuse me. I don't look a bit like this guy at all. You see, I have lighter hair color than he does. Yeah. My eyes are clearly whiter than his, too. Well, I do look a lot like this guy, admittedly. Yeah, but I'm not serving time in a penitentiary. He is. All right. Please, sir. I told you, you're banned permanently from the show. Don't ever come in under that username. Scissor Fight has a link. Here we go.
Well, I'm going to get on with a real quick video about baking soda because actually this might relate to so many plagues and bubonic plagues and Ebola.
Oh, he's going to talk about baking soda being beneficial for detox. Yeah, I mean, if you're in a serious situation, you couldn't find a better detoxing agent than the baking soda. You get bicarbonate of soda actually does have some really beneficial results, pulling toxins out of bodies. Yeah, but no one can bear the taste of this stuff. Have you ever had it? It's like, put a teaspoon in some water. It's just horrible. Ugh, puke. But that's the only way to survive. Yes, sir. When you got to hit the baking soda. I'm sorry, I'm addicted to baking soda. Bob, whatever his name was, yeah. It doesn't really matter who I look like because some people, make comments that make no sense at all. They're really talking about superficialities. Yeah. Really? Heartburn, baking soda? Really? That prevents oh yeah, lowers, sure. Gets rid of the acids. Ground control to Major Tom. Yeah, hello. Hello. All right. So, I guess we've reached the end of the show here. 1 more minute and we're wrapping it up. Pickle juice works for heart? You got to be kidding me.
Ground control to Major Tom.
That's not exactly good for you, man. That's got acid in it. Vinegar is not good for heartburn. That's like putting salt on a wound. Who has heartburn and is low on acid? If you have heartburn, you got high acids in your body, man. Oh, thank you to know. I'm trying to help everybody. We do need a 10% flat tax. It is the way to go. I agree. Well, I guess you have low acids and heartburn. I've never heard of that, man. You may want to get checked out. You could have that dreaded, that's the disease of the, is it called ulcers? Yeah, it could be an ulcer. It turns out ulcers are bacteria related. I am not a cybernetic organism. Please. I resent that. Deep, deep. Take back your power coming up in just a second, the trailer. Yeah, but ulcers are curable with antibiotics. So I don't know about vinegar. I really don't. I can't really say that's good for a reflux or acid ingestion. I'm not a doctor, though. Ask your doctor. Got some music going down. Y'all bringing in some hip-hop. We're going to play some hip-hop for tonight. Alright. And this is Shirley Ellis, the clapping song. That sounds exciting. Boy, you got a lot of fun stuff for the lineup tonight. Play it, boss. Okay, let's get started. No.
Ground control to Major Tom.
I was not the 5th member of the Village People. I'm not gay. Okay, we're out of here. Thank you for coming in and sharing our evening. I'll be back tomorrow with our anti-war rally starting at 5 o'clock. Take care. 6 days a week, 5 to 2 in the morning, every single day. Entertainment value on the internet has never been freer. Okay. Excitement personified. Good night, everyone. Take care.